Oh, good evening, everyone, and welcome to Orla Live for Wednesday, the 14th of May, 2025. We went on last night because we had a meeting, Orla Force meeting. As you know, I'm on the AC of Orla Force. Look at this. You look at this. Whopper. Got rid of it today. It's where I was feeding the blading, wouldn't you? Yeah, hang on there. I just need to. Hold on. There. Sorry, that's me there. That was my bad. I didn't put it out on all the channels there. It's gone out on all the channels there now. So please God, everyone will start to watch. But as I said, welcome to Orla Live for Wednesday, the 14th of May, 2024. We're not getting very many viewers there. I think there's an issue. But it's going up there now. Fair play, yeah. Fair play to everyone. Yeah, thank you everyone for tuning in there. Share it there if you can. Share it everywhere. I'm just going to go. I was having a bit of an issue there. You can get us live on WhatsApp on 089 203 1521. That's 089 203 1521. You can also get us live on comment on X at FitzyDub, Anthony L. Casey, Rugamorph, and Paul Fitzsimons at www.theirishchannel.com/live. I'm actually, people are there putting it in. Sorry. Hiya, Paul. Hiya, chat. Hey, Paul. Yup. How are you, Paul? How are you all? Good evening from Manchester. How are you, Michael? John? I said I'd go with the rough look today, John, and show you the tan and whatever else. I was actually just out. I got a puncher, so I'm only in the door. Bet the farmer's tan. Yeah, it's not a farmer's tan. Look, it's a full one. It's a full one. Don't you worry. But yeah, you look gorgeous, Paul. Thank you very much. Cheers, Michael, John. How's it going, everyone? How are you doing, John Paul? Out in the sun again, Fitzy. I was indeed, John Paul. I was. But yeah, we're going. I didn't actually share this out anywhere, so just bear with me for a minute till I share it out. I'll do that now in a few minutes. I'm going to just play a video as well in the next few minutes. Good evening, Paul. How are you? Good evening. Good evening. I told Orla I'd be a bit late, so I told her 10 past 9. But I got in quick enough and I got it set up and I got me shit together. So, yeah. Jeez, we're smashing. They were up to 150 there already, people. Keep on going there. But you weren't that lad. You weren't that lad got accosted in the garden in town the other day. Right? I seen that one, yeah. He was a bit older than me now, I have to say. Well, he looked at her older than me. But yeah, I seen that one, yeah, in his JS Fluid. And yeah, Siobhan Dunn. How are you, Siobhan? How is the gorgeous Anthony? Yeah, he might come on now in a while. I'll send him the link now in a few minutes. So yeah, he might come on and have a chat. Look, as I said, look, I swear I was feeding that bleeding, wouldn't you? Look at the size of that whopper. And I wouldn't mind. It wasn't even a spot. It was something. It was a blackhead or something. I don't know what she said it was, but my sister did it and got it sorted. So yeah, yeah, teenage pimples, not good for me, I tell you. But as I said, we're going to talk tonight about a bit about the vaccines, as we always do. And Herman Kelly was on, I think it was a podcast last night, the Gypsy Scholars, I think it was, and I have the first few minutes of it to actually just to watch. I was going to do a whole show on it and do a whole shit on it, but I thought, I'm not giving them the oxygen. I'm not giving them the oxygen. I have his video. I'll play a couple of minutes of that. I have a couple of minutes of Michael Leahy's video that he came out with today. And Michael Leahy has been reaching out to people. Michael is the man who was leading the unity talks and the whole lot. So listen, watch this space with Michael. Michael's a good man. I trust Michael. I like Michael more than I trusted Herman now. And I did trust Herman at the start. I thought there was nobody like Herman, but then that all changed. Hello, Orla. How are you?
How are you?
Oh, good. I thought you had the Bell's palsy there for a minute. You what? Like that. But yeah, I was just saying we have a few things to talk about. Herman did a video last night. We're not going to go into too much detail into that tonight because I think that's a whole show that needs to be used, and I think I should invite him to the show as well. To be honest with you, we might do it on the column on Sunday night, and I might invite him on the column on Sunday night. And whoever else has any questions about our loyalty and our what we are to unity and what we are to the nationalist movement, well, they can come on as well and they can throw in their questions too. And I'll answer them, Anthony will answer them, Martin will answer them, whoever else. So I think that's what we should do. We have Michelle Keane as well talking about election rigging. We also have the Social Democrats trying to stop. That's my phone there. Who is that?
Religion.
Always when you're ringing it. Always when you're ringing it. Always when you're live. But
I see the very important questions have started to come in already by Michael.
Yes. Yeah. Where is he, Michael? Michael John. How's the gorgeous? Yeah. Miss Pigeon, you trimmed that mohawk. Sorry. Yeah, sorry. I had my glasses on. That's what it was. I forgot I had them on me. How are you, Paul? How are you, folks? I see her going with the dog. I see her going with the doggy look from a few years ago. That was, I have to say, that was a brilliant weekend. It was May. It was actually 2 years ago. It was this weekend, I think, or the May bank holiday weekend. The kids were away. Me, Gavin, Clive, and Macker, and a couple others went out, and we camped outside in Dalkey, outside Pat Kenny's house in the lane. It was brilliant, I have to say. Gav went jogging. We all lay in the sun. We all had the gargle. People were coming out having the crack with us. It was just the best. And do you know why we did it? We did it to let the people at Dalkey see how easy it was for migrants just to get off a train and camp on their back doors. So that's what we did, and it was brilliant. Is Dublin any safer now? No, it's not. I got a phone call earlier from a friend of mine that there was a stabbing in Frederick Street. Now, apparently, there was a stabbing in Frederick Street. I don't know how true that is. I'll have a look through it now in a while and see can I find anything. O'Hanlon's pub. Did you hear about that? No, I didn't. Is this what I'm talking about? I seen it, Paul. Terrible. Never a leader. Well, listen, I watched it myself last night, and the first few things out of his mouth was a lie. So I just knew the rest of it was going to be a lie. So, and I'm trying to tell people this. This is what's annoying me. I'm in different groups, and people are all jumping on this, saying, "Oh, yeah, Anthony did this, Martin did that." I did nothing. Me and you did nothing, Orla. Well, you're being involved in it. But can I ask? I'm going to ask this question to people: why hasn't Herman came after me? I'm on here every other night saying things and calling him out and doing everything. I'll tell you why. Because he knows I know the truth. That's why. That's exactly why he hasn't come after me. Because I'll rip him to bleeding shreds with the truth. I'm telling you now. Vincent Brown, hi Orla.
Hi Vincent.
Hi Orla. Hi Orla.
Chris.
What happened last night? You're a day late. Yeah, I know. What happened was we had an emergency. And we had an AC meeting. And what happens on all the AC meetings is I leave. They start at 8:30, and I leave for 8:45 or 8:55 to come on here, and I don't get to hear what's going on. And a few of the lads were saying, "Listen, we shouldn't be doing that." And I thought last night, I said, we'll call her off tonight, and we'll do it tomorrow night, and we'll probably do it Friday night as well, and Sunday night. That'll be better, I think, if you're up for that, Orla. But if not, I can do Friday myself.
Sorry, what am I getting roped into?
No, I said we're not going to do tomorrow night. We'll do Wednesday, Friday, and then probably Sunday as well. We have to do Sunday anyway with the column, you know. You're going, yeah. What's this? I always thought Michael Leahy would be the best leader of IFP. They always seem to be tapping the brakes. Yeah, listen, Michael, I'm going to be honest. He's the only decent man left. Well, there's two. There's probably two. You know what I mean? There's a few others that are still members of the party who are friends of mine, but I'm not in cahoots with any of them. So anyone who wants to go out and say that I still have an influence over anything in the IFP, we have no influence over anything in the IFP. The lads do their own thing. Okay, the lads brought the motion. Michael Leahy did, and Owen, and he has called out Owen now. He's called his name out all over the place again. He doxed him already for being a British soldier. Herman's just not a good man. He's just not a good man. I'm sorry. Ulysses, I seen the message and heard the voice message. Oh, O'Hanlon's pub. No, hold on. Is that the one in up in Dundalk where the child walked in last night? I'll be playing that in a while. Yeah, I have to find it there and I'll be playing it. Just hearing Ukrainians go back to their country for a holiday and the government pays for that. They pay no rent, get less tax. The country's a joke. If you're not genuine,
I
get out.
know.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Yeah, I'm multitasking watching this, guys, and the Celtic match. Is that in Europe or something? Is that the European match, is it? Or whatever? Oh my God, just Vernon Kelly doing another hit piece on Martin Murphy and Anthony on the Scholar Gypsy podcast yesterday. Yeah, it was. I'm going at Gavin Pepper is gorgeous. Will you stop, Michael Joe? Everyone's big and gorgeous. Yeah, Paul Nolan was there. Okay, I'll see. Paul must have a video up then. I'll check that out now in a minute. But go with the Social Democrats, okay, want to take religion from the schools. Now, I'm just going to play a video here from This Is Ain 2 talking about it. Okay, we'll go with that and come back.
The Social Democrats are bringing forward a motion essentially to restrict or to ban confirmation and communion and religious education from being taught in primary schools. The problem with this is that teachers don't want it, students don't want it, and parents don't want it. So essentially, the Social Democrats are bringing forward a motion that nobody has any appetite for.
The Social Democrats are seeking to ultimately deny the right of thousands of families across Ireland to educate their children in the ethos of their choosing. Aintu is a party of pluralism, and we believe pluralism is about inclusion and supporting families in the choices that they make. The Social Democrats' motion is actually trying to override this ability of families and prevent families and teachers and children from the ethos of their choosing. Aintu support the divestment programme, and actually one of the difficulties the Minister and the government is having in relation to divestment of schools is the fact that parents are happy overwhelmingly with faith-based education and are seeking to support that in the surveys and consultations that happen. And it is very disappointing that the Social Democrats would try to engineer their own beliefs and their own views over the people. And it's very worrying that politicians, and it's a dangerous route to go down, where politicians would seek to force the electorate, force their citizens into the views of which they support themselves. We support the ability and the right of parents, teachers and school management to have self-determination over the ethos of their school.
Wow. That is crazy, isn't it?
Oh, we're not surprised, Paul. Like, it's not coming as a shock. We know what they're like.
No.
I mean,
Yeah.
I saw people commenting saying, what about, like, if they take out the Catholic religion, does that mean your communions and confirmations are gone? So we know this, that they're trying to take the crosses and the holy pictures out of the schools, out of the hospitals,
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. It's crazy. I'm just looking at this here now. I'm just sharing this out over social media there because I didn't share it out earlier. The link to go across, the link for anyone to watch. So, as I said, I was up to my tonsils, but I've shared it out there now. Yeah, you're going off there. Paul Nolan was there. Okay, I'm going to look on Paul Nolan's website. Sarah Hardy, hi God, great today. All weather amazing. Yes. How are you, Sarah Hardy? I have to say, though, 2 protests yesterday, one in Tallaght and one somewhere in Dublin 8 also. Yeah, it's brilliant. Fair play to these people coming out. Girl missing from Drogheda the last 4 weeks. She turned up at Hallin's pub. She was held and raped and beaten for 4 weeks by Romans. Jesus Christ almighty. This is... Yeah, I trust you, Paul. Thanks very much, Michael. A lot of people trust me. And, I don't have to... Sorry, how can I don't have to to prove myself to anyone, to be honest with you. A bit of war paint, Paul would pass as a Comanche. Yeah, Charlie, thanks very much. As I said, I'm going to be honest. When I go to Turkey, when I'd be on holidays there, the second week I'd be there, there'll be young ones coming up to me. How are you, love? How much is that? How much is that? In broken English, you know what I mean? And I go, I don't bleeding work here. What are you talking about? I'm in Dublin. Yeah, so, yeah. No, Paul, Hanlon's Corner, North Circular Road. Okay, I didn't see that. How are you, Paul? Orla. Yeah, okay, I'll bring Orla back up now. How are you? You all right?
Yeah, no, sorry, just a message came through. That's all, because I'm on my phone.
Oh, okay. Should have used the laptop. I told you. The laptop is better. Yeah.
I don't have time, Paul.
You don't
I
need
barely have
time.
time to charge my phone, never mind anything else.
You only have to open the lid on the laptop, go onto the web page. I'll send you a link. You open it, and woohoo! You have
Look,
exactly what I have. Then you'll be able to
mm.
do the show on your own. You know what I mean? Yeah. You know what I mean? You know, you teach a man to fish, he live forever. You know what I mean? There was
Whatever.
something in there, but I just forgot what it was. You know what I mean? Mousy, hope you're well, brother. How are you, Mousy? How's everyone? Fair play to you all for tuning in. But yeah, I've sent that link out there now. So with a bit of luck, we'll get a few. Oh yeah, we're flying up there now. Fair play to everyone. I put it out on Twitter as well. You probably know I'm live, but listen. But yeah, the Social Democrats, they're scum, aren't they?
Oh, they are. But sure, look, that's what I was saying. We know, like, we shouldn't be surprised. We know exactly what their agenda is. We know exactly what they think. You know, so.
No, but it's trying to take it out of the school, like that our kids. You know what I mean? Our kids have
I
to.
know.
It's just beggars belief, like, you know what I mean? It really does.
Well,
Really
like, if
does.
you,
Yeah.
if you
But,
don't want a religion or you're atheist or whatever, then you can just send your child to, we'll say Educate Together or some of those schools that, don't really have a religion, But if you want to send your child, to a Catholic school, you want a religion, you want them to be taught the Catholic faith, So, like, there
exactly.
is options there for people, but to turn around and say that all schools should have no religion, then that's utter nonsense. That's again, well, look, we know what's coming in. We know what they're dictating to us,
Muslims, they want Islam.
Exactly,
That's what they
Islam.
want. You know what I mean? That's exactly what they want. And
But people
I
need to
ain't having
stand
it.
up and say it,
Yeah. Yeah.
Simple as that.
No need to re-establish Christianity as our religion and culture. There's no need. No, there isn't, because we are.
A Christian country, yeah.
I'm probably not a practicing Catholic. I don't go to mass all the time. I go to mass at funerals and whenever I go to mass, I pray to God when I need to do a little prayer. I get communion. I do confession. That's it. That's all you need to do. You know what I mean? Like, it's no big deal. I had my young first communion was 2 weeks ago, and it was
Yes,
the best day of his life so far.
I know.
It's a big thing for kids. You know what I mean? It's a big thing
Mhm.
for us as parents as well to do
I
that. You
know.
know what I mean? But these are all the likes of that Coppinger and them. Like Paul Murphy doesn't even know whether his child's a boy or a girl. You know what I mean? Come on. These are the people that is in the opposition here. That are no opposition at all, as far as I can see. You know what I mean? Social Democrats are radical progressive liberals, like people before profit. They want Marxism alongside corporations running.
Yeah, you're
Yes,
right,
you're
Daniel.
dead right.
hmm
Yeah,
hmm
they are commie bastards.
hmm
Prayer area in my daughter's secondary school. Yeah, it's disgraceful. Like, you know what I mean? And I heard
Well,
in, I
my
think it
daughter's
was,
school is a Catholic school.
yeah. Well, so was ours. So was my kids. Is
Mhm.
a Catholic school. Yeah, you know. Now there's a lot of different kids in there that aren't Catholic or aren't whatever, and they're given out because the kids have to learn this, that, and the other. But if you're in our schools, that's what you learn. I'm sorry. Tough
Exactly. You're
shit.
in our country, it's Catholic, and that's it. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Well, the Islamics looking at your children in communion dresses think they're little brides to snatch. Yeah, I know. Gee, I know, mate. I know. But all good, Mousy. Thanks. Yeah. By definition, we Irish are Catholic. Yeah. Well, I am, and I'm not
Well, the
going to.
majority are, yes.
Yeah, Enoch Book. But
hmm
there's a lot of these people coming in from foreign countries as well who are Catholic. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
not just
yeah,
us. You know what I mean?
yeah.
You know,
Polish,
Polish,
Poland's a Catholic country.
Latvian.
Yeah,
Yeah. We
Italian,
need a
they're
religious
Catholic.
faith. Yeah, we need a religious faith to control our own nations. Okay, let's go back to 2017. Okay, what happened in 2018? Was it that was the abortion referendum? Do you remember the abortion thing that came in 2018?
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that was stopping abortion in this country was the Catholic Church. That was it. End of story. That was the only thing that was stopping it. You know what I mean? Everyone else, oh, I want abortion, I want this, I want that. The same way as gay marriage and homosexuality and all was shunned by the Catholic Church. Always was. I was growing up as a child. It was a terrible thing. Oh my God, bless and save us. There's a homosexual, or there's a, it went against our religion. Now all of a sudden, priests are allowing them to have transgender masses in it. They're having Muslims. They're having Islamic prayers in our churches. That shouldn't be happening in their churches. They're our churches. If you know what I mean. If you want to go and stick with that culture, stay where you were. Go back to where you came from. You either assimilate into us. You either come on board with us, or go. End of story. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Speaking of, okay.
But it's
Speaking
the same
of
as if, like, if we went
these
over to
social
Dubai,
democrats,
you wouldn't get away with it. Like, if you go over to those countries, you have to do what you're told, and that's it. You're not going to be coming in and like praying on the middle of the street and building Catholic churches around the place and things like that. That's not going to happen over in those countries.
yeah, no way is it going to happen. No way is it. Is that a Cavan accent you have, Orla? Des Finnegan. Yes,
Yes,
it
it
is.
is. I am from Cavan. Yes, I think it's been bet out of me, but anyway.
Religion is a red herring. This is a foreign dominance of indigenous Irish. Okay, Mousy, right. I went looking for solicitors yesterday. Looks like I found another immigration centre. No way, Mousy. Where? Where is it? Send them in. You should be sending them in, Mousy. I'll
We're
put them
probably
up. You're probably putting them up
tripping
on your
over them
own.
now at this stage.
Yeah. We need nuns to run our schools again. Yeah. Paul Murphy runs. Started deleting his post because of the he. Oh, did he? Lovely dickhead.
Good
That's
man,
right.
Daniel.
I got.
Hey, Finola.
Yeah. Paul, will Colin be joining you for a chat on the jabs? Paul, Colin here. Colin. I don't know. If you text me in, send me a text into 0892031521. I don't know who Colin is, so if you can send me a message there, 0892031521. The Islamics seeing your child. Yeah, we got that all right. Yeah. That's why the kids, like every one of these centers is around where kids are. It's
I know.
disgraceful.
And people should be suspicious about that. Why aren't people suspicious? Like, what are they doing in such close proximity to schools and creches, you know?
Looking for brides. That's what they do. Looking for brides. That's what they do. It's great to see Trump taking in the Afrikaners, real refugees. Yes. And I'm going to be honest with you. I would welcome them people here too. I'm being honest with you. They're being persecuted over there. They're being butchered in their homes. Listen, and they are great workers, them people. I'm going to be honest. They are. I know a guy from South Africa, and he's one of the hardest bleeding workers I know. I'm being honest with you. He just gets out, does his shit, and he gets home, and he's with the kids and everything. He's one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet in your life. I swear to God. And like he was saying it to me about what's going on over there. You know what I mean? The media don't show what's going on over there. They don't show the 70 Christians being beheaded there a couple of weeks ago because it doesn't suit the narrative, you know? Let the Muslims in, let them in. You know what I mean? They're getting chased around Syria now and getting butchered because they're Christians, because they're Catholics and Christians. You know, it's wrong. Only prayers will save our country, but many are straying years ago. Get back to Jesus' teaching, and with communism is the way you want it. God will be the government. Don't allow. Katrina, the Catholic Church went along with the lockdown madness. Remember, guards coming into the church. Yeah. But what I was saying, get back to what I was saying there earlier about the Catholic Church and the abortion. That was the only thing that was stopping the abortion in this country. And then all of a sudden, late 2017, we were hit. It was all leaked about paedophilia in the Catholic Church, and the Catholic Church was ruined in about 2 weeks. So they had no credibility to stand up against this abortion shit and the whole lot. This is what they do. They take religion out of everything. They have free reign then to run riot. That's exactly what's happening here. You know what I mean? The church cannot accept sterile sex. Yeah, the church doesn't. Yeah, I know. But this is how far they've come now. Now men are allowed to be women, you know, in the Catholic Church. The last Pope was bringing these people in to the Vatican, you know, to Peter Square, in where he was sitting. You know, come on. Like, that's not a good look, lads. Come on, that's just not a good look.
Good luck. He wasn't our Pope.
That's it. Yeah, as you said before, Paul, FIFO, fit in or fuck off. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I say. Say it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
In my opinion, Trump is trying to make it so people actually want to go back to their own Islamic countries. Yet they should all be going back. Cheerio, the whole lot of us. Ireland will always be Catholic, and it's in its heart, no matter what the world changes. Yeah, Mousy right.
Hope
Dundrum
so.
behind the Garda station. Thanks for that, Mousy. There's a new iPass centre going into Dundrum behind the Garda station. We need a Catholic version of Sharia law. We have a Catholic version. You just don't do it. That's it. End of story. We know what we have to do. We abide by the laws. They don't. Sharia law is.
I sent you a
A
very
friend of
quick
mine got a
video
phone
there on
call to
Sharia law.
Stephen. You did.
Hear that, Paul?
Okay.
Yeah, it's very quick.
Yeah, I can. Hang on, where'd you send it to?
It's only a couple of seconds long, but let's just say it says everything we need to know.
Okay. When did you send it to me? Today?
I think it was today. Was it today or yesterday?
I'm not seeing that about Sharia law. Wake Up Media and whatever. Del Big Tree.
No, it'll be one of the videos. I think that it's screen recorded.
No.
It's I don't know. It could be only 10 seconds long.
Yeah, but I'm not seeing it. Oh, 11 seconds. Wake up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see it. Don't worry. I'll wait. Just bear with. No, that's a vaccine. That's 11 seconds for the vaccine one. No, that's not that.
It's a man sitting in a chair, like at a table
No, that's
talking.
about the vaccine. That's not about a man or a woman.
Man.
Let me have a look there. No. 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 I have Gert Filters, is it? Yeah. I have that here. Sorry, yeah. Gert Filters, isn't it, in the European Parliament? It's a minute long.
No, you can play that as well, but that's not it. Play it and I'll go in and I'll check.
We must immediately stop immigrants from Islamic countries from entering the country. That's what I have.
Yeah, that's yeah, you can play that anyway, and then I'll just go in and check.
Okay, I thought I downloaded that. Yeah. I mustn't have downloaded it, but I have it here anyway. I'll play it here. Let me just play this here. I'm going to share this here.
And terror, and as a result is not compatible with the values of the Netherlands. Close our borders right away to asylum seekers and immigrants originating from Islamic countries. We should withdraw from the Schengen Agreement and reintroduce our own border controls. 3. Begin by dismantling Islamic institutions like mosques. Start by closing foreign-funded mosques, including those that receive funding from abroad and are under the authority of Diyanet, the Turkish Ministry of Religious Affairs, and not us. 4. Lock up anyone who threatens or uses violence or deport them from our country, and if necessary, take preventive action against those hundreds of supporters and thousands of sympathizers of the jihadist movement in the Netherlands. And 5, Chairman, request all schools, newspapers, media to display a Muhammad cartoon in threats and violence, and that we proudly and firmly support our freedom. Finally, I have a message for all those Muslims in the Netherlands who do not respect our freedom, our democracy, and our core values. Those who consider the rules of the Quran more important than our secular laws, and there are many of them. 700,000 is revealed in the study by Professor Koopmans. And my message to them is get lost.
And he's right. Get lost. I'll make myself bigger there. Just until, oh, there's Orla back now. Hang on. Yeah, get lost. We've hit 500 there. People keep sharing it out there. People probably didn't know we were on tonight. And as I said, I didn't put it out anywhere. So if you can share it, people, share it on Twitter or whatever else you can share it there, and we'll keep going.
I sent that over. It actually hadn't. It hadn't sent properly. That's the problem. So I've just resent it there.
Okay. Yeah. Wait for the message. Yeah, that message didn't come over. The video didn't come over. That's what it's saying.
Yeah, it didn't send for some reason.
Yeah, it didn't send that time either, for some reason. But right, listen. While we have the 500 on here now, I'm gonna play a little snippet from what transpired last night on the. And I'm going to come back and talk about it. Okay, so I have it here. Where is it? First 9 minutes. Okay, let me just pull this up here. Okay, I'm going to share this. We'll just play a few minutes of this. I can pause it while it's going, and when he says what he wants to say, I'll come in and I'll pause when. Okay, so I'm just going to play this for anyone who didn't see it last night, and let's go.
Sorry, now I got a bit of back there. I'm delighted to have Herman Kelly here with me today, leader, president, or we'll find out that in a few minutes, of the Irish Freedom Party. But first of all, I just want to say to new viewers that John Waters is joining the Scholar Gypsy. So there's a joint channel between John Waters and myself now. We're both writers on Substack. You can find John's writing on John displayed across the screen as we just our conversation today is what is going on with the Irish Freedom Party. Are you still the president of the Irish Freedom Party?
That's a difficult.
I've lost you there.
Yeah, so I was just improving the Wi-Fi there. Sadly for John Leahy and co, that they didn't reach the 2/3 majority needed in the vote to change the constitution. So technically, I still am the president of the Irish Freedom Party. But hey, you know what? For the next 3 months, there's going to be a group of 3 guys looking to achieve what they described as greater unionist, nationalist unity, in a union of nationalists in Ireland. And I should let it go, and I wish them all the best. I myself, I think this heave from outside the party, with the help of people like guys, Anthony Casey and Martin Murphy, who left the party on the verge of being kicked out of the party in December of last year, former members of the Irish Freedom Party. And they have gone through various groups, nationalist groups in Ireland over the last year. Be that first that was Sinn Féin.
I'm just going to pause that there just to say, Herman came out in January and said that he threw them out of the party. That didn't happen. He has just said it there now that they left themselves before they were thrown out of the party. Okay, so that's his first lie.
They resigned and they have the resignation emails.
Murphy.
Yeah.
Then they came into the Irish Freedom Party. They disrupted that. They tried to either bring it down or take it over, and they're still at that, of course. And then finally they moved.
I'm going to pause that there again. Okay. No, I'm going to
on to Ireland First, which was started by Derek Bly. He was a bit tired of politics, but the way that it happened and the way that Irish First members were treated was very badly by Murphy and Casey. And I don't think what has happened in Ireland First is quite over yet, because I certainly know that people like the deputy president of the party, Alec Maguire, etc., are very unhappy about what transpired in Ireland First. So I don't think that Casey and Murphy and co are out of the woods when it comes to that. So basically, they've gone through 3 different political nationalist groups in Ireland, and they've tried to either overtake them or bring them down. And that's still a matter in progress in the Irish Freedom Party. But I myself, I'm still a member of the Irish Freedom Party. I will remain a member of the Irish Freedom Party, and I will be helping to build up the party as best I can. Because what's that old one in quizzes? I've started, so I'll finish. I hope to increase the reach and vote of the Irish Freedom Party going forward. And the thing is, I'm very good friends, as I said, with nationalist leaders like Malachy Stevenson, with Derek Bly, with Gavin Pepper. And I think this heave-ho came at the very wrong time, because just as we were getting very close and saying, look, guys, we should all be in the same political party, because there's not a snitch of difference in our political viewpoints. They're very, very similar. And really, it would be better off not as independents or as separate political parties, but as one unified political party.
I'm just going to stop him there again. He never wanted unity with any of the parties. Never. He went in last year and went to that meeting and did what he had to say, but he wanted to keep his brand. He was going to step down as president and give it to Derek Bly. And then Malachy, he told me, his own words, Malachy scuppered it, and that's why it didn't happen. Okay, that's what I was told. And then I was told a completely different story when I joined Ireland First, and I spoke to the people in Ireland First. So Herman is a compulsive lawyer. I just said I'd throw that out there. So we'll go another little bit into this.
And so, hey, that still may happen in the very near future. So we'll just have to wait and see. It's not, the thing is, life, it's just not up to me. It's not all about me. There's many other people doing their own things and making their own decisions. And I have no control over that. People make up their own minds and they make their own choices of direction. So we'll have to see how it goes. But I'm pretty upbeat and pretty enthusiastic about the next few months.
Were you surprised by this? Did this take you by surprise, what happened? Or was there a build-up? Could you see a build-up coming to it?
Yeah, well, Casey and Murphy, I call them dumb and devious crew, that they came, now I thought in my naivety, thought that this kind of ruptions within the party over the selection of the candidate for Carlo Kilkenny in the general election, which was between Orla Donohoe, who wasn't very capable, and Luke O'Connor, who's a very capable...
Paul.
Yeah.
I'm not listening to that.
Yeah, okay. I'm just going to explain to the people here, for Big Iron here. He tried to say that he thought that this is when all this happened, but there was something more devious going on in the background. Okay, but for the people who are listening, I'm going to explain what happened here. Okay, Orla was working with Luke behind the scenes. Orla was Luke's campaign coordinator or whatever in the locals.
No,
that's right.
No.
What was it? You didn't work with Luke.
No. Luke and I were friends, and Luke brought me into the party.
Okay.
But Luke was, this was only during the locals. So Luke was in Kilkenny City and I was in Carlow. So we were helping each other out, as in I was helping on the media side of things for the Facebook page and all that sort of stuff. And I offered to give him a hand with canvas and things like that. And then I was helping out with Michael Leahy and stuff like that. So we were helping each other out, but I wasn't like a campaign manager or anything like that. We were just, we were friends and we were giving each other a hand for different things. I was going down to Kilkenny to support him and all that. But I'm sorry, Paul, I'm not listening to that utter lies and nonsense from him again.
Yeah, I understand that, but I'm just trying to get the point across to people here about the timeline of what happened here. Okay, we'll finish it up there now. But what happened was Luke O'Connor left the party. He left politics. He put out a tweet. He gave his resignation, all the shit that he had to do. And then you were asked to step in to fill that void because we had no candidate. Isn't that right, Orla? You were asked to step in.
Herman asked me several times for me to run. I had big reservations about doing it because all I'd wanted to do from last summer was support somebody else. And I was asked several times would I run. So after about to and fro for about 2 weeks, I agreed to do it because we didn't have a candidate for Carlo Kilkenny. And I got voted in on the AC. That was fine. Look, I've explained this in the last couple of shows. Then, as I said, I'm not getting into names or anything like that. There's no need for anything like that. What transpired afterwards was there was another AC vote between myself and the other candidate. And I found out that Herman had been ringing around behind my back to get them to vote for the other person. And I didn't know about that. And as I said, at the end of the day, I had absolutely no issue or problem with the other person being voted in, because, you know, if it's done fairly, there is no issue. That's what the AC is there for. I had sent out a message telling you guys, as you remember, Paul, that I had no problem with if anyone had changed their mind, because obviously the other person had a lot more political knowledge than I had, and I had no issue or problem with standing down. I didn't realise that this ringing round was going on behind my back. As far as I was concerned, this was going to be a fair AC vote. What annoyed me the most was that if the president and the chairman at the time had the decency to give me a call and ask me, would I mind standing down, that, you know, that had a chat about it, and they said, look, you know, would you mind standing down? We feel maybe the other person, you know, would be better suited, you know. And bear in mind, at that stage, I had already been announced. I think I was announced 3 weeks by that AC vote. And as I've always stated and said, that I would not have had an issue or problem if it was done correctly and fairly. And obviously, I wasn't going to have a show made of myself because I had been announced. But I understand. I mean, you know, at the end of the day, I wouldn't have had an issue or problem if it had been done correctly. But it was never done. It was all done behind backs. And again, like that, I didn't know that this was going on. And then it transcribed in the last couple of weeks that myself and the other candidate were being played off against each other by a load of lies and deceit, which we didn't know about either. Well, I didn't know about anyway. So again, at the end of the day, what sort of a president and chairman of a party does something like that? I mean, at the end of the day, if you're running for general elections, you are supposed to support your candidates, and that's it. I also offered on several occasions, because a lot of rows and fights were going on, that I would stand down. And I was told, no, I was not to stand down, that I was the candidate and I was to keep running, and that was it. And I have, as you said, Paul, we have all the receipts to prove that. And that's pretty much it. I've spoken about all this over the last couple of shows, and I don't really want to kind of keep going on and on about it. But I will say one thing. If the president and the chairman of your party is going round pitting two people off against each other and telling lies and causing a load of trouble, then what does that say? You know, I don't think there's anything more that needs to be said. We all worked extremely hard for the general elections. I know myself, I took one single day off in a month. I was out canvassing the whole time. And, you know, I always conducted myself in a good way. And I will not have him make little of me on either social media or videos. And I have actually asked him on more than one occasion to stop talking about me online, and that I want nothing more to do with him. I have not spoken about him apart from clearing things up over the last couple of shows, because a load of false information was put out. But as I said, I should not have to ask him to drop it. I'm not with IFP anymore. I've left. And I am sick to death of being dragged into nonsense that has got absolutely nothing to do with me.
Yeah, exactly. And he also came out and said in that, I'm not going to play it, but I'll say it, anyone who's watched it, watch it, that Anthony and Martin tried to steal Shilling Adina off Eamon Murphy. Now, Eamon Murphy is a friend of Herman's who got in with the lads when Shilling Adina was being formed. I was there, and he formed this media group that nobody agreed with. And the lads set up their own group then and moved away from Eamon Murphy because he was an arsehole, and he thought he was a plant. He thought he was in there to disrupt. And that's why they moved away from him. So Shilling Adina Media is a completely separate entity to Shilling Adina, okay? Which Anthony is a part of, Martin is a part of, I'm a part of now. You're not a part of Shilling Adina. You'll never were a part of Shilling Adina. And Herman Kelly has said that on umpteen times, that you were at meetings and this, the other, all this bullshit. I can categorically say you were never,
you can't be at
never
meetings
have been at a Shilling Adina meeting.
Look, that's all been cleared up, that I was at no meetings. And apart from being on a local WhatsApp group, that's it with Shilling Adina, and we haven't even done anything, because again, like that, I have enough going on with everything else that I don't have time to take on anything else.
I'm going to just Dick Footlong here. Okay, you said something about me about Coolock and this, that, and you're a few minutes ago. Yeah, no problem. You know where I live, mate. You know who I am. You know how to contact me. Stop telling lies, you spoofer. Easy to host a show when Herman is not on it, you bluffer. Was any of us on the show last night when Herman was telling lies to plead their case? No. But I'll tell you what I will do. I'm going to put this out right now. I'm going to invite Herman Kelly onto the Irish column on Sunday night, and we'll see. Let him tell his lies then, while the two lads are there to defend themselves. If he doesn't come on, you'll know he's a fucking liar. Okay, you dickhead. Okay, so that's that put to bed. Oh yes, I have seen that and wondered. Martha, I hope you are telling the truth. I am telling the truth, Paddy. We are telling the truth. Herman is like,
Well, we
your
have
man
the
amongst
receipts
us.
and everything to prove it. And at the end of the day, we are just sick and tired of having to repeat ourselves time and time again. At the end of the day, we are not with IFP anymore. And I don't know how many times we've had to say, we're done. We've moved on. You know, you move on as well, because, you know, some of us are sick to death of being dragged into nonsense that has got nothing got to do with us.
Somebody put in the comments there a minute ago, both parties have made a show of themselves here. One party has made a show of themselves. We got involved in this to clear our name. That's why we got involved. I'm in different groups and I'm being told I'm at this and I'm at that and I'm at this. I'm none of them shitty things you're calling me or talking to me about. Okay. People know me, trust me, and that's it. Okay. I don't care what anyone thinks of me. I'm being honest with you. You know what I mean? But I know I'm telling the truth. You know you're telling the truth. We know he's telling lies. And we leave it at that now and we'll just move on. I want to play Michael Leahy's video from today about what Herman Kelly said in this video. And we'll come back and talk about that when we finish.
Of the Irish Freedom Party. It is important that I should explain to you now the process in which the Irish Freedom Party is engaged. This is particularly the case given certain comments which have been made by our immediate past president. I have no intention of getting involved in an unseemly public dispute with anybody, but it is necessary for me to refute some of the allegations that have been made. The party decided by a very substantial majority, 62% to 38%, to remove the president and to appoint a three-person committee for a period of 3 months to take over the president's role and specifically to reach out to other members of the nationalist community with a view to forming a single entity which would best represent our views. I utterly refute the allegation that has been made that I or anybody else within the party was acting as a so-called cat's paw, as has been stated for any other organisation outside of the Irish Freedom Party. Such allegations are simply beneath the dignity of a former leader of a political party. I categorically confirm that no consultations were carried out with anybody outside the party prior to my submitting the motion, which was overwhelmingly passed last week. It has also been suggested that the purpose of the motion is to ally our party with extremists and racists. Again, nothing could be further from the truth. The purpose of the motion is to reach out to moderate people on the national side to come together and put an end for once and for all to the foolish internecine squabbling and bitterness that has characterised us over the last several months. I'm afraid that kind of squabbling was in full display in the video that was put out yesterday. We now have a three-person committee in place, elected by the members of the party, whose brief is to reach out to others and to see if we can reach an accommodation to provide a united, realistic and moderate nationalist front. I would not be involved with any organisation involved in extremism or so-called racial purity. I am much concerned that efforts are already being made to frustrate the process we are now engaged in by whispering campaigns and false allegations being made. The only effect of that will be to keep the nationalist community divided and ineffective. We simply cannot go on squabbling and bickering and calling each other names if we hope to be taken seriously by the electorate. We must bring forward a realistic party which can deal with all the problems that face the Irish people. Not just immigration, but housing, the rapidly changing trading situation which impacts our small open economy to a much greater extent than it does other larger countries. We need to put forward a future vision for our nation, which so that it can be a home for all of our people. We must do this in the context of the rapidly changing nature of international affairs, which we are all witness to. We cannot allow individual egos to get in the way of progress. My role in this is to seek to establish a new entity which incorporates as many people as possible, but excludes those whose radical views makes them unelectable. We must not allow individual bitterness and sniping to undermine this process, and I call on everybody of goodwill to allow the 3-month period that I've sought to enable this process to continue. Thank you for listening. This has been Michael Leahy, Chairman of the Irish Freedom Party Unity Committee. Thanks for your time.
Well, I think that put everything to bed there, didn't it? You know, is Michael a lawyer? You know what I mean? I have to
Well,
say,
Michael
fair
has never
play.
told lies about us, so. And as
Yeah,
I said on several occasions, Michael has always treated me very well and had very good respect for me. And as I said, when he was running for the European elections, I helped Michael out an awful lot. I did a huge amount of leafleting for him, and I helped out a bit with canvassing, and then I was over in Kilkenny putting up posters and things like that, just helping out the other guy. And but I have to say, you know, Michael has always, you know, I can't say one bad thing about Michael. He's always treated me very well, and he doesn't drag you into crap that has got, you know, nothing to do with you.
And again, they set up control parties to destroy patriots movements. Yeah, they do. They do that. I know they do. Paul, you look like an Apache. Did you fall asleep in the backyard? I did yesterday. Yeah.
Did you
That looks.
put up Owen's? He wanted that put up as well. He said him and Michael's video had to go up. He sent on.
Yeah, Dick Footlong has just said that you were shit-storing in Coolock last summer. Who was I shit-storing with?
Paul.
Who was I shit-storing with?
Paul.
Yeah.
Look at the name.
Yeah, I know. I can see the name. I know the name. I know who it is. Like,
Yeah,
you know what I
exactly.
mean? I know exactly who it is, you know. But I just wanted to. Do you want to come on there? Send me on your. Send me the link on there into 089 203 1521. Come on and we'll see who your little face is. You little pussy. I was storing no shit in Coolock last year. I was helping Coolock out last year, stopping people from going in there. Okay, that's what I was doing, mate. You know what I mean? Made Collie a scapegoat. Collie made himself a fucking scapegoat. Okay, threatening women. That's what Collie was doing, and being abusive to women. Okay, and that's a no-no in my book. I'm sorry. You know, Michael sounds like a good leader. He is a very good man, I have to say. Hold on, what have we got here? Both parties look bad. Ireland forced the most. It's Blair's party and Dwyer was a member. Even nationalists are put off, especially after the march when the Caseys wouldn't march under his own banner. That's not what happened at all. Where have you heard this one? What's this all about? That's bullshit. We wouldn't march. We didn't want to bring the banners with us because we thought we'd have been targeted. That's why. Nobody came from Shinanadina. Nobody came from... And to be honest, we hadn't got the banners even ready. Sure, we hadn't ordered. There was no Ireland Force banners ready. We had Shinanadina banners
they weren't ready. An order gone in, but they weren't ready. I think anyway, yeah.
So I don't know why. Philip Dwyer was a party member. Yeah, he was. But Philip was also an NP party member. He was an Irish People Party member as well. So what are you trying to get at? Ireland Force the most. Why do we look bad the most? It's Bloy's party. Is it Bloy's party? Bloy handed her over. Bloy had a vote where Anthony was nominated. It was him who got in contact with Anthony. And why he hasn't come out and said this is beyond me. You know what I mean? But obviously we know now why he hasn't, so we won't talk about that. Teresa Murphy. I know him. He's a gentleman and very well educated. Used to be my number one vote. Yeah, Teresa. He's a lovely man. He really is. That's his darky look. It's like me again still. For people who know all you guys, all we can say is I have seen this and honesty from Orla and Paul and all in Ireland Force. For people who know all you guys, we can say that all I have seen so far is honesty from Orla and Paul and all in Ireland Force Party. Thank you very much, Lost at Sea. There's no point in telling lies. You get caught out.
We have nothing to lie about. So why? Do you know what I mean? And actually, I just want to say something. Obviously, a lot of stuff came to light over the last couple of weeks that I myself didn't know about. And I just wanted to say just a massive thank you to every single person who messaged in on the show. I mean, I had to watch the show the following day to see all the messages coming in. You know, I just want to say a massive, massive thank you. And I know a couple of people from the show were up on the YouTube sticking up for me last night as well. I didn't watch it. But a couple of screenshots were sent on to me and I recognise the name. Ladies, you know who you are. And I just want to say again, a massive, massive thank you. As I said, I only joined IFP last April. I was very, very happy to be involved in it. And as I said, everything, you know, was going good up until the general elections. But at the end of the day, we have left the party. We have moved on, you know. And we're not out there, you know, saying this, that, or the other. Well, I'm not anyway, about anybody else, because we now know that obviously untoward things was going on behind our backs that we didn't know about. So as far as I'm concerned, you know, I'm done. I'm done talking about it. Do you know what I mean? And I'm done being dragged into nonsense again. As I said, move on, concentrate on your own party. Don't be worried about what everybody else is doing. But it's the truth. Do you know what I mean? So why spend so much time worrying about what Anthony and Martin are up to? You know, concentrate on your own party. Simple as that, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I know. Irish Edition is a far left troll. We know that. I'd vote for Paul Nobody. I think he'd be a great leader. Listen, I didn't
Oh,
want
please
to be
don't
leader.
encourage him.
My name
Don't
was put
encourage him.
about. Yeah, but my name was put about, wasn't it, with the IFP that time? Like we were talking about it, and like we didn't. Well, we went with Anthony then. You know what I mean? I didn't mind Anthony. I wanted Anthony to do it. Sarah just saying the banners came on the Monday after. Yes, they did. Dick
Yeah, Sarah.
Footlong is still talking show you here, so I'm just gonna get rid of this fucking clown. A clown altogether. We know who you are. We know, and I'm not going to say who you are again. And so as you're ringing people saying, "What are you talking about?" We know who you are. So just don't bother your whole texting in, all right? Okay. Nobody was ever going to be targeted. Casey was the only one who thought that. Everyone else marched proudly and voters seen it. No, I was at the meeting. I thought there was a credible threat. Okay. And then in the end, we deemed it not to be credible. Okay. We found out the information and we came out with a statement saying, yeah, we were going to the march, blah, 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 blah. Just get the fuck over it, lads. We just get over it. You know what I mean? And move on. Come on up then. Sorry, come on up then. Dick Footlong, the invitation is there. Yeah, the invitation is there. Come up and show your face there, mate. You know? Got family in Cool. Keep fighting, brothers and sisters. Love from Tip. Yeah, no problem. Martin, I cannot understand why Herman Kelly spoke badly of you. He's a disgrace. Exactly. I was Herman Kelly's friend. You know what I mean? And listen, Anthony gave the timeline the other day. I don't know whether anyone has seen the video.
You don't put down your candidates. You don't do that. Do you know? And especially when
Better move
you
on
would
talking about the past. Unity now, people, or we are finished.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's it. Like, I mean, at the end of the day, like, you know, the candidates were chosen and, you know, we all did our best, and you shouldn't turn around and start putting down your candidates. That's not right.
Yeah,
Thanks,
someone saying leave Herman to speak to GB News. That's all he thinks. Yeah, but I'm just going to say here, okay, Anthony's a plant, Anthony is this, Anthony is that. Well, then it's all my fault because it was me who brought Anthony into the IFP. It was me who got Anthony to join the IFP. And it was Herman who asked me to ask Anthony to join the IFP 3 weeks, 4 weeks before the locals. Okay, so I brought him on the show. Then I got him into the IFP, and now here we are with Ireland Force. So the rest is fucking history. So that's it now. It's put to bed now. No more about it. I'm going to do a whole show Sunday night. Okay, we'll do an hour on Sunday night. I'm going to send Herman out the invite because you're all saying Herman's not here to defend it. Well, one person did, but let's give Herman the invitation to come on and speak to Dumb and Devious, as he calls them, and we'll see what happens then. Okay, we let him answer because we have all the receipts, people. We have all the receipts, you know. So yeah, let it go, Michael O'Sullivan. You're right. We are letting it go. Yeah, grassroots of nationalist parties want unity. The leadership seems to think it's all about them. Well, our leadership, the leadership I'm with, doesn't. Okay, I'm being honest with you. No. Anthony has stated he will step aside if someone comes along and takes over and does whatever, and we will move in behind them. I have no problem with that. No problem.
Yeah.
Kelly looks at himself before pointing fingers. He should look at himself before pointing fingers. Yeah. Herman is a true narcissist. He uses people, then discards them without a second thought. I've seen that myself. Yeah. Good man, Paul. You're a fair bloke. Okay, lads. Let's move on here. Jesus, we're flying here now to save them up there.
Like, I was just thinking earlier on, like, you know, like,
people.
You know,
fair play. We haven't got as many as we.
Yeah, well, we're not normally on tonight. But I was just saying, like, even like you think about it last summer, like, I mean, we had gas crack last summer. you know, when we were out doing protests and we were doing different bits and pieces, and you know, like we had, like last summer was brilliant. I'd love to go back to that, you know, that just time again, just where,
Yeah,
do you
yeah,
know what I mean? It was just, you know, people were having good fun and there was a bit of crack and, you know, and
yeah,
all that.
yeah. It was a
I'd
great
love to go back
buzz.
to that time
Great
again.
buzz, yeah.
Yeah, there was, like,
Yeah.
you know, because,
Listen,
you know, we were all like, you know, we were all great friends. And as I said, we're out supporting each other at different protests and different things like that. And,
yeah.
you know, it was, yeah, it was good times, I have to say.
I canvassed with Michael Leahy last summer. He's an absolute gentleman. I voted for what Michael put forward because he is 100% right. We absolutely need to stick together or our country is in peril. Yes, you're dead right, Irish girl. Fair play to you.
I remember last year with Michael, so he was down in Carlow, right? It was so funny. So myself and another woman was giving me a hand, right? And we were actually heading out to Tullow to go out and do a bit of canvas and leaflet drops out there. So we got in the car because Michael was driving us out, and all of a sudden he hands me like this huge speaker. And I was like, what is this? And he had, you know, the recording where it's like, my name is Michael Leahy and I'm running for the, you know, the European election. And this big thing. So I had to put it out the window, and here we were driving around Carlow town with this speaker going the whole time. And I was like, oh my God. Oh Lord, it was so funny.
I thought somebody just beeped to come in there. No, they didn't, because I didn't send it out anywhere.
Where's Anthony Martin coming in?
Very good. They said they might drop in, but you know the way.
Well, look, anyway, we've got a load of stuff to go through. We have all the stuff to do with the shots. I've sent on a load of stuff there as well. And come here, I redone that video. That video is fine, so it should be able to be played. I think it's only 18 seconds.
It's okay to go. Yeah, I know, but when I click on it, it says waiting the message, and it's not opening. It's not opening at all. Daniel.
But on the phone, it looks like it. Has anyone got Ross's number? I need a new co-host. This one's just not up to standard anymore. He was lovely the other evening, like, you know.
Yeah.
It's Jaden on tonight.
I'm just going to share this here. This is for Carrick McCross. So they're getting sent in to me there. There it is there. Trim says, no, this is not a joke. Do you believe us now? Decision by the June 10th. We need all the help we can get. Please do not name people, properties until it is confirmed. Dear members, please be advised that an application for a declaration of exempted development as detailed below was received by Meath County Council on the 13th of May. Reference number, location, Fairgreen, Summerhill Road. Applicant secure accommodation for up to a maximum of 180 persons seeking international protection. The proposal will provide indoor recreation, dining, kitchen rooms, reception area, toilet, showers, and circulatory spaces. There will be office space and staff facilities. A decision is due on this application by the 10th of June. So people, get yourselves in there and get some sort of legal shit together and get that stopped. You have till the 10th of June. So please, people, do it. You know what I mean? Like it was done in Coolock last year. There's an injunction. Well, the injunction case is still going on. Nobody has gone in there. The lads are still down there every night. You know what I mean? Every day. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it's brilliant. But get some sort of an application in there and get that stopped. You know, that was sent in to me there. Instagram. What's this? I was looking for that one of the girl. It was sent to me in a WhatsApp thing. That's what it was. I'll play it in a few minutes. But I'm going to just play. This is I'm actually going to make myself a cup of coffee while this is on. But this is the Social Democrats speaking about trolling and how poor old Ruth Coppinger, the man hate or the woman hate or the everything hate or unless you're trans. Yeah. So I'm going to play this. It's 5 minutes long, people, and we'll come back and talk to it. I'm going to get a coffee.
I've had to endure a week of threats and trolling as a result of declining to answer a question here last week. So I've been subject to relentless trolling, and there is no question.
Shit.
I've had to endure a week of threats and trolling as a result of declining to answer a question here last week. So I've been subject to relentless trolling, and there is no question that declining to engage with Gript brings on a massive response from people who support it. So I just wanted to say that we will engage with the media, but every single person, like Leo Varadkar, didn't engage with Gript at one point. Enda Kenny didn't engage with Vincent Brown. You know, lots of people don't engage with the Sun newspaper. You know, and well, I'm glad to see some journalists are rallying on this great point of journalistic principle. But it is our right to refuse to engage with whoever we feel is not acting in good faith.
Ruth, you talked about trolling online. Do you think it was appropriate for you to call myself and Jack Horgan-Jones very pathetic over the weekend?
The pathetic display of rallying around Gript.
Do you think myself and Jack pathetic?
I think a lot of things weren't appropriate last week, Louise.
But do you think we're pathetic? Do you not see the hypocrisy? Look, I was trolled last week too. I didn't say a word about you, and yet you over the weekend branded myself, Jack Horgan-Jones, pathetic. Do you not see the hypocrisy in that? Giving out about people, and I'm sorry if you had threats. I'm sorry if you had to go to the Gardaí. That's not nice. But you're talking about general trolling. You were trolling myself, Jack. Do you not think that
wasn't a troll? I posted about what happened here last week, Louise, because I knew it was going to be covered after. So I put up a tweet saying what happened, that a number of poll cars seemed to rally behind Gript, which is exactly what happened.
I'm not talking about that tweet. I'm talking about the one you sent at 1:30 on Saturday morning, branding myself and Jack very pathetic. I'm asking you, is that what you think, and do you think it was appropriate?
I think it was something like the pathetic rallying behind Gript. It wasn't about you personally. If that's all you had to worry about.
No, I'm just asking you.
You're the one complaining about trolling.
That was far from, that wouldn't have even come into my radar, because the level of misogyny and abuse that I got as a result of authority that was given to Gript last week by one or two poll cars, to be honest.
I thought trolling as well from your side, I'd just like to point out. But you said thanks to two very pathetic journalists giving him footage. Ben who stood with the fire eyes, that was 1:23 a.m. on the 10th of May, which is Saturday. I'm asking you, do you not see the hypocrisy in that? Because myself or Jack never mentioned you.
Nobody in the media mentioned it all week, actually, which was also quite interesting.
I think you'll find that's not true.
Nobody interviewed me all week or came to me for a comment or a point of view about what happened here last week.
You're on YouTube.
We didn't get any media.
A number of, well, I saw one journalist that did kind of cover it. But I just thought it was interesting that no journalist kind of contacted to see what had happened that week. So, you know.
Do you not believe in the Press Council's ability to function? Because if we don't use the Press Council as adequate means to critique behaviour that is improper, I mean, then it's not up to the whim of politicians to pick and choose who they talk to. But it is, of course, very Trumpian, and we see the impact of that.
But see, it's not Trumpian. Like, I read your article, right? And the distinction between Trump is excluding Associated Press because they refuse to use the term Gulf of America. They correctly use the term Gulf of Mexico. But he is excluding them from the White House. That's the difference. We don't have the power to do that to Gript. We're not doing anything like that in terms of Gript.
If you are in power, it's very slippery slope, and that's the issue.
No, but we defend the right of freedom of speech and freedom of press.
Who are we not going to speak to next? It's Gript today. Is it the Mirror next week? Is it the Mail the week after? Do you not see why there's an issue?
No, because we draw a very clear line. We disagree with the line of the Mirror. We disagree with the line of the Mail. We disagree with we did the line of the Irish Times. We disagree with the line of News Talk. We disagree with RTE. We disagree with Virgin Media. We disagree with all these media outlets.
We live in a democracy.
But we treat them as media outlets with which we disagree with. Gript is different and should not be normalised as if they're just like that. They're not, and I'll explain why they're different again.
Yeah, but why do you not take it up with the Press Council is my issue.
People have made complaints to the Press Council.
I think the comparison to Trump is just ludicrous. You know, I'm not a sexual predator. I'm not somebody endorsing a genocide. You know, I'm not a misogynist, a racist, a homophobe.
Do you think it's appropriate to call two political correspondents very pathetic?
I think the behaviour, like if it's being put bluntly to me, yes, was pathetic last week. That's obviously up to them to decide what they do, and they have every right to do it, to be clear.
Just on that last question, though, it wasn't the behaviour that was described as pathetic, the journalists.
Okay, apologise for that word, Louise. Okay?
Gript, want to ask a question? I think it's the format for that.
I'm just back. That is how they get away with that is beyond me. I'm being honest with you. How they get away with that is beyond me.
Unbelievable. Like the lack of respect is just outstanding, and the ignorance of them as well. You can get that real arrogant tone of them, you know. And then she's up calling people pathetic. Like you are part of a party. You represent people, and you're up calling other people pathetic. Absolutely disgraceful.
Yeah, yeah. It is,
you know, and those two journalists, like, you know, the ones that were standing up for Ben, like they were very respectful towards her, you know, and Ben always conducts himself in a very, very good way as well. You know what I mean? So, you know, it's just, but this is what I mean. Like this, we've spoken about this a few times now, right? You know, they're going on about nationalists, you know, fighting each other and this, that, and the other. Why in God's creation are nationalists fighting each other when we should be fighting them? Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael, Sinn Féin, Social Democrats, People for Profit. That is who we should be targeting. That is who we should be calling out. Instead of fighting among ourselves and this, that, and the other, we should be going after them. Simple as that. They are the ones that are single-handedly destroying this country and letting everything that's going on go on. So they are the ones that we should be targeting.
Yeah, well, Bree Smith tore a new arsehole at one of the early water protest meetings to choose a day for the march. This trollop said to every Saturday, no to every Saturday date. We wanted to march on Paddy's Day. She said no. This is Coppinger. Coppinger is a nasty, 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 nasty woman. I'm telling you now. The reason why nobody contacted her was because she's a see you next Tuesday. That's exactly why nobody wants to talk to her, because everyone knows what she is. You know what I mean? Jaden has just sent in. Well said, Orla.
Oh, Jaden, good man.
That's
We're
right,
looking
Orla.
forward.
Anthony Casey Fitz.
What have you got for us?
Yeah. Dick Longfoot.
Thank
There
you.
he is again. He's gone again. See you, Dick. Bye. The exact same comments is what comes in all the time. The man can't even speak English. He doesn't even know how to spell. That's the problem. Dick. Yeah. Jaden just sent me in something there. Let me just see. Dove I get a grip. Come on, look at this. He's even done me as a black man. Fair play to him. Fitzy Dove.
No, it's because of your colour. Because you're getting darker every time you're on. You're on the show.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Because because every time we see you, you're different. You're nearly like another shade.
Madding Mofay. That's
I think that's Martin. Is that Martin? I think he's taking the piss out of Martin.
Yeah, Madding Mofay. Madding Mofay. You know the Chinese. Antonio Casey, aka Mr. President. Yeah.
That's very good.
And then we have Orla Donohoe.
Oh my God! Look at the girl.
Brilliant.
Oh, poor Ario looks a bit stunned there.
Yeah.
You look quite good.
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
I did know to look after me.
Yeah, we must get you a tiara. Yeah, we have a fly flying around here. You're dead right, Orla. What's someone saying? You're dead right, Orla. We need to focus. We need to counter for each of those political parties and stop squabbling. Yeah. Coppinger is a dangerous parasite. Yes, she is.
But like, do you know, like when you were watching her, Jaden, have you got the other one on Ferg? Have you got it? Like, what got me was, look, when you watch her face, the disgust that she had for Ben was shocking. And that says all you need to know about her, you know.
Chris Bourne is saying he speaks Notepad, Paul, because it's literally copied and pasted. That foot-long fucking he's a gobshite. I know he's a gobshite. Billy Bogus. All Muslims, GB News, Patrick Christie's Britain will give me anything I need. Brazen migrant on why he chose to come back to the UK. Yeah. The people who built the pyramids look like Paul, except with red hair. Jaden, Chris, how are you guys? I'll make a Chinese Sarah by the next show and an Arabic Ferg. Fair play to you. Coppinger is a Marxist. They're all the same. Yeah. She organised the Bend the Knee march through Blanche shopping centre that led into the riots. Yeah, AAA wound up legals.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to name any names, but I met one of the Social Democrats, Again, I'm not going to give any information as to who they are, but my first impression of her was she was such a cold fish. Like it was like there was nothing there, you know?
There is nothing
Like, I
there.
mean, she was pleasant and she was nice and all that, but it was like, do you know when you get this feeling of somebody, there's just like, I don't know, like dead behind the eyes. There's just nothing there.
Typical lefty, yeah. Typical lefty. Same with all these outfits that you'll be out on the street with the rainbow flags and the whole who need to get their laptops checked. All of them dirty outfits. They have no life behind their eyes either. You know what I mean? Coppinger is Ireland's Hillary Clinton.
Very true.
Boy, great channel, respect. No
thank
problem.
you.
Fair play to you, mate. Thanks very much. She only has contempt for Irish
She
people.
does.
All Muslim. She's actually married to a Muslim, I think. Yeah. Could be a reptile. Yeah. Macron removed that powder bag quicker than he does the immigrants. Yeah. Oh, did you see it? Yeah. Seeing that the other day. Did you see it? Yeah.
Soulless. That's exactly it. That's exactly it. Soulless.
Yeah. Soulless. That's what they are. That's exactly what they are. Lads, share this out again. What are we up to there now? We're up to 900. Fair play to you. Keep sharing it out there we're on Twitter, we're on Facebook, and we're on the irishchannel.com/live. If you want to buy us a coffee, please do, if you can afford it. Thanks to the people who bought us coffees last week. Thank you very much. Much appreciated.
Paul will buy me a Bulmers.
I'll buy you a Bulmers, yeah. We're up to 900 there, people. As I said, keep sharing it out there. Keep sharing. We've exceeded 900. Fair play to everyone.
Actually, Paul, I think I sent you. Did I send you the screenshot about the business in Carlow, or in Kilkenny? Sorry, I think I did because I wanted to speak about it. Just while it's come into my head.
Okay, which one is it?
It'd be a screenshot.
Oh, baristas, is it?
Barista sisters or sisters.
Barista sisters. Yeah. It's just a picture. Is that what you want? The picture? Okay. Are we plugging this one? Do you need to start fucking buying us coffee?
No. So I called in to this coffee shop on Monday, and they what day are we on today? Thursday?
Wednesday.
So they're actually closed. They're closing on Friday. So they're in an area called a townland called Callan in Kilkenny. So anyway, I was in and I was chatting to the business owner, and I just said, I'm so sorry to hear about you closing, because this is the second business. You can take down the photograph now, it's grand. So this is the second business now in Kilkenny that is closing within the space of a couple of weeks. The other one's in Kilkenny City, another cafe. But anyway, it was unbelievable when I was talking to her, and I just really wanted to highlight this because, like, she was just saying it all started last year, where the council came out to do roadworks, okay? And they said it'll only be 2 months, over and done with. It went on for 4 months, and the noise coming from the machinery and everything put off a load of our customers. So that's when the whole kind of, we'll say, I suppose, downfall started with them. And then outside the front of it, they had a big, there's a big kind of paved area where they could put out outside seating, but there's loads of space. And cars used to pull up to grab a takeaway coffee. The council came and put bollards there, which meant cars couldn't pull up anymore. So that took away that business as well. Plus, the delivery guys weren't able to pull in either. They had to go down the street to drop off deliveries as well. So she just said between everything, they had no other choice but to close, because they could not keep going because everything was against them. She made several complaints to the councillors and the TDs. And again, like that, nothing was done. So there was hardly any support for them. That's 4 jobs gone. Plus money now for the local town. That's gone as well. You know, it's absolutely horrendous what is going on out there. You know, with the lack of support for businesses. I actually wrote a letter into Kilkenny Live and the editor printed it. You know, and again, I asked the question, what are the councillors and the TDs doing? Like, that is their job. They're supposed to be looking after the people in their county, you know? And what are they doing? Like, there's no point saying, oh, that's terrible, that's right. Get up of your hole, excuse my language, and do something. You know, there's another business, again, that I highlighted, was it yesterday, that's after closing Kilkenny. This is going on in every county all over the country, where people are losing their jobs. So anyway, I just want to highlight that.
Sorry, I was just listening to a call there. No, you're right. This says, looks like the council shut it down. That's exactly what it looks like.
But there was no help or support. Everything they did went against them. Like, do you know what I mean? It was absolutely terrible.
Yeah. Chris Bourne, what's Chris Bourne saying? Chris Bourne, yeah, I know. I think it's a sad state of affairs in the first place. The council are a nuisance. Yes, they are. Fitzat, wrong Catholic husband died. RCA husband died last year. Ruth Carpenter's husband died last year. Was she not married to a Muslim fella? Did I not see a picture of a Muslim fella? Yeah, I thought I seen a picture of her with a Muslim fella. But all her nephews are transgender, so that tells you exactly all you need to know about that woman. There will be an Indian shop putting the fully paid for parking. We'll all be allowed again. We are being run out of it, yet we are. Lefties always want to hold people back, keep people down.
And that coffee shop would have done really well during the summertime. It was quite small inside, but outside it had that big, that wide paved seated area. And but like that was the other thing she said to me as well, that they were the only proper coffee shop in Callan. There is another 2 there, but they only open 2 or 3 days a week. She was open 6 days a week, and she was open longer hours as well. So like that's a loss to the town for anyone that's staying there.
They're making that much money. They're making that much money. They only need to open 3 days a week, 5 blinking quid for a cup of coffee. You know what I mean? Come on.
Yeah, I know.
Some of them aren't like that. No, some of them aren't.
No,
like
not all of them. That's why I like going to smaller places or local places, not the likes of Costa and places like that. Because like you go in and you get a cappuccino and it's like $5.50. Like it's ridiculous.
Oh, someone's asking there, Paul, can you call a demo for Saturday the 14th of June at Dublin's O'Connell Street? What for? You can't just be calling demos, man, just for the sake of calling demos. We need to have organisers and everything else and something to do. You know what I mean? We need to have the banners done. We need to have everything done. But if there's something that needs to be called out and we need people to go there, well, let us know when we can go there. You know what I mean? Someone was asking there how they buy a coffee. What's the link for buying a coffee? I've just put it in the chat there. It's in the chat there. You can support us. You can buy us a coffee if anyone wants. Please do. And we have the usual people buy us coffees all the time. So fair play to them. Thanks very much to everyone.
The regulars, yes, they do. Thank you so much.
Now we're at 122. We're going to move on to the vaccines now. Okay. Now, I have a video here. Now, it's 7 minutes long. It's outside the Dáil. I think it's today. It came from Wake Up Era. Barry from Wake Up Era. I seen it on the Wake Up Era page, and I pulled it straight down because we don't talk about Irish vaccine injured as much as we should. You know what I mean? We should be talking about all the Irish vaccine injured. So I'm going to play this video.
Oh, 100%.
And yes, it's, as I said, it's 7 minutes long. So let's play this, and we will come back and talk to this. We have a couple more here. I have other scientists talking about how everything is connected. You know what I mean? I have Ryan Cole. I have an epidemiologist as well to talk about. And we'll talk about the hate speech bill, and we will talk about Clonmel. So we'll come back after this. As I said, we've got 40 minutes left. So let's play this one here. This lady's name is Marion, and she was vaccine injured. So I hope Barry's watching. Fair play, Barry. Thanks very much for putting this out.
My daughter was injured by the vaccine. She took the second vaccine and was injured by it. And it led me down a very deep, deep rabbit hole for information as to why and how. She also caught COVID. I looked after her for a week before my son caught it, who was also vaccinated. And after 2 days, then I caught it. And I'm still here today. I lived through COVID without being vaccinated. For the vaccine injured, when I mentioned my daughter's injury, the first words from our doctor was it wasn't the vaccine. Her period stopped for 8 weeks and she suffered horrendous pain, and it took quite a while. They're still not right, and she's still seeing a gynecologist. When I start searching, I heard an interview with Robert Malone with Joe Rogan, and Joe Rogan had mentioned a website, the Canadian COVID Care Alliance.org. I'm going to spell this, so anyone who has any doubts about the dangers of this vaccine, please go and look at this website. It's CANIDIANCOVIDCORELLLIANCE.org. There is a video on that website called More Harm Than Good. This video was put together by real doctors, real scientists who do real clinical trials, And they put this video together, taking the Pfizer clinical trial data. In this data and their own clinical trial, it proved the vaccine was more harm than good. It killed more people than the actual virus. Later, hundreds of actually medical professional scientists and lawyers put in an FOI request to the FDA. This was to release the Pfizer documents that were used to give emergency use authorization for the use of this vaccine. Public Health and Medical Professionals for Transparency is this group, and you will find all their details on phmpt.org. When you get onto this website, you'll see the full list of these medical professionals. You'll also see links to the court documents and to the Pfizer documents, and soon to be the Moderna documents. If you click on Pfizer 16 plus, and type in 5.3.6, on page 7 of that document, you will see the details Barry mentioned earlier. In the first 3 months, not even 3 months, of the release of this Pfizer, not only Pfizer, the vaccine, there was 1,223 deaths out of 42,086 adverse reactions. But not only that, not recovered at the time was 11,361, unknown was 9,400, and they added the recovered and recovering, which was 19,582, to the one list of statistics. It subsequently transpired, and I don't have the document here, but I have the others with me today, that there was an additional 200,000 reports that were not input into that document 5.3.6. They were backlogged, conveniently backlogged. So the real numbers are only imaginable. If you go on to VigiAccess, I'm not sure if it's .com or .org, VigiAccess.com possibly. This is the World Health Organization's database that compiles all the adverse reactions. If you click on the search on that website, VIGIACCESS, it's either .com or .org. You'll have to click accept and then click on search and type in COVID-19. They have about 10 vaccines listed in the COVID-19, but all the figures tie in to a COVID vaccine. They didn't separate Moderna from Pfizer from AstraZeneca. All the figures are linked together. In that there is over 5 million adverse reactions. And if you click on each of the drop-down boxes, you'll see what those adverse reactions are in. And of the previous document I mentioned, 5.3.6, there's 9 pages of adverse reactions that should be alerted to your medical professionals. Page 12 of the 5.3.6 document covers the pregnant women, which I might add, the Rotunda Hospital are still advising pregnant women to take this vaccine.
Yes, they are.
On page 12 of that document, there was 270 women who were pregnant at the time, without knowing at the time of taking this vaccine. They conveniently lost the details of 238. But out of the other 30 odd that were there, 23 of them had spontaneous abortions, premature birth and neonatal death, and spontaneous abortion with intrauterine death, there was 2 each. And spontaneous abortion with neonatal death and normal outcome, 1 each. So 26 babies out of those 42,000 lost their lives. But it subsequently transpired with another released document. And if you look at the Pfizer on the phmpt.website and in the search field, type in 125742_S2_M1, you will see that during the time period, they added a few more pregnant women who lost their babies. It's 51 in that report. So this is a call out to the sick people in this building, to the HPRA who are supposed to monitor our medications, to the HSC you are killing innocent men, women and babies. Yes. And it is time you took this toxic poison off the market. Yes. In light of the new international health regulations, I would appeal to every man and woman who has a brain in their head to do your investigation, and before you put any medication or vaccine into your body, look at the contents of it. Granted, you are not being told the full contents, but even what you are being told is toxic. And for the people here who are vaccine injured and who are being gaslit by your doctors and everybody else, you are not alone. We know the details. Print off those details and bring it with you.
Fair play to that lady. I'm going to be honest with you. I thought it was today. I didn't watch the video fully. It was from 2023. And listen, fair play to Barry and Wake Up Era. They're the ones that's putting this out. But Teresa Murphy just put in a message there now. My son is vaccine damaged, 2.5 years in the hospital with medication resistant schizophrenia. Just 2 weeks ago, Moderna have listed psychosis as a rare side effect. They recognize one case as a side effect. I'm studying the law so I can go after them too. I too am very vaccine damaged 5 years ago. I was a strength and conditioning coach working and doing long distance running and long distance triathlons. I've nerve, half my body is numb, and a fast paced arthritis and a run around factor. Okay, Teresa is actually with us. Teresa is a friend of ours now. So, well, she's a lovely woman. She was on the show there last week or the week before. She was on the Irish column, I think, last week.
But there's an ingredient I spoke about this before in Moderna called SM-102, and it's a listed ingredient. And when you look it up, it says that it can cause cancer, and that's in Moderna. And I can guarantee you, anyone who took those shots was never told that. And most people are not going to realise what these letters and numbers mean unless you physically, look them up.
Yeah, Charlie, loads. And guess what? I'm still here. You've took all your vaccines. Neighbour up the road died suddenly. He didn't take any. You take painkillers and having a clue what's in them, silly Billy. Listen, there's no denying the excess deaths and everything else that's going on here at the minute and the turbo cancers. Okay, so listen, I really don't care that you're trying to come out and take up for it, because there's no taking up for this. Like, you know what I mean? You probably got a placebo. You probably didn't get a vaccine at all. Okay, if you've took that many, you know what I mean? Well, then the odds of you taking 5 and not getting one bad one is really, you know what I mean? But listen, it could be coming, mate. It could be coming. I don't know. You know what I mean? A lot of people are sick from taking them.
Yeah, I sent you on the screenshots of the excess deaths.
Hold on there, and I'll get them there, Orla.
I think there's 2 now. Yeah, you're right, Sarah. 100%.
Could we ask Orla what St. Joseph's is like in Carlow? My grandson is starting in September. Is your daughter's in St. Joseph's, is she?
No, she's in secondary school. That's a national school. I don't know. That's not a short answer. I honestly don't know, because my kids went to different schools outside the town. I just know of the school, but I don't know anything about it.
Sporty kids were having heart attacks while playing football after the jab. They played it down. They're still playing it down. We had a GAA one there. We had that there a couple of weeks ago. We played it. How many people have fast few months? You know what I mean? In the last few years, since 2022, 2021, I think there's something like 35 or something like that we have seen. Exceptionally tourism, imaginary critters responsible for nothing. It's so simple. If you were pregnant, for God's sake, take no injections. And that was always the way. And then they start bringing in the flu injections. You remember, for pregnant women?
Yeah, I know.
Come on, lads. Why do
I didn't even drink coffee when I was pregnant. I used to drink the decaf, Yeah. And now they're giving shots to pregnant women that they weren't even tested properly, and they're only out 9 months. Madness, absolute madness.
There's teenagers getting jabs too, affecting their reproduction system.
Yeah, the HPV.
Yeah. Telling them they're anti-cancer vaccines. Yeah.
Yeah.
Agnes Lynch, While the Irish were locked down until they took the poison, thousands came into the country, unvaxxed, still going on now. Protect grandparents, etc. What a joke, sick one. They murdered them all in their homes. Yes,
I know.
there's a lot of people where, you know what I mean? And a lot of these countries, of these migrants who are coming in here, the likes of Gabon and the likes of Papua New Guinea and all of them, they only had something like an 8 or 10% vaccine rate. So nobody actually got vaccinated, like, you know what I mean? And TB is rampant again in this country. Rampant again. You know what I mean? I remember Dolores Cal telling me that 800,000 people die a year from TB in the world. Jesus, that's some amount of people to die, isn't it? 800,000. You know, I suppose in a population of 9 billion, it's not really, you know what I mean? But even still, you know what I mean? I'd say they're all third world countries that these people are dying in, you know what I mean?
I would
Because we
imagine the
eradicate.
countries that don't have an awful lot of, proper healthcare and sanitation and things like that. But you look how many died from TB, as in the consumption. That's what it was called. Back hundreds of years ago. It was horrendous, like, So
Brian Keane, I took no vaccine, but the COVID seems to be still in me after catching that Omicron a few times. Brian, seriously, mate, you didn't catch COVID. They just rebranded the flu, mate. Like 32 million people catch the flu every year. 32 million cases of flu every year. And in 2020, there was no cases of flu, but there was 36,000 COVID cases, or 36 million COVID cases. Come on, you don't have to be a genius to cop onto this. Like,
and if you get a very bad flu, it will floor you. It will absolutely floor you for a few weeks. If you get a bad dose of it.
I got the flu. I remember getting the flu. I worked on the ships years ago when I was only a young fella. And I got the flu, and I was 3 days in bed. I cut my legs, my elbows, every bone in every joint ached. I couldn't move. I had the sweats. I was cold. It was just a horrible, horrible experience. I thought it was the gargle. I was only a young fella, and I was drinking like fuck on the ship, like, you know what I mean? And that's what I thought it was, but it wasn't.
No, the flu is really bad. If you get a proper dose of it, it's really bad. Like,
Because I remember my mate Chris, his missus said it to me. She said, I said, I have the flu. She says, you haven't got the flu. She said, if you had the flu, you wouldn't be here talking to us. You'd be in bed. She said, have you ever had the flu? And I told her about the ship. She said, that was the flu. She said, you've never had the flu since. You get the man flu, you get the sniffles, and you think you're dying. That's the problem here.
Well, man flu now is very serious, Paul. Like, I mean, I hear that's horrendous. God love yous.
Would you believe, I'm going to be honest with you, right? I have not been sick. I have not been to a doctor since 2019.
Neither have I.
6 years. 6 years. And my doctor actually retired, okay, in that 6 years. I'm being serious, and I can't get
No, I'm looking at the message from Paul there. Like, look at the message there.
I drink 2 bottles of whiskey a week. That helped me. Yeah, I tell you. I can't drink the whiskey, Paul, at all. I'm being honest with you. I drink whiskey. The Irish edition had a brain cell in his head. He'd be dangerous. Yeah, okay, yeah.
Listen,
doing great.
Paul, I've seen what happens when you drink whiskey, and it is not a good thing. So you're banned from drinking it.
Yeah. It's like giving whiskey to the Indians, isn't it? Woo! And I'll even look like one now. Teresa is doing great to be battling these. I wish you both some recovery from it, please, God. Yeah. I'm glad, though, that a handful of doctors spoke out. Yeah, I am as well. I really 100%. Am. My mother took the 2 and no more. My brother and I took none. Me and my younger brother took none at all. We didn't.
Me and my brother didn't take them either.
Yeah, I sent you a poster of Ferg. Okay, let's see this.
Okay, Jaden.
That's a good one. The man of power. That's a good one. I'm gonna just present that now. And there you go. Look at that. The man of power, Ferg.
And we had to get the flag in.
Yeah, the flag. Ferg is nowhere without it. I remember the big protest when I was arrested last year. Ferg forgot to put the flag in the car, or something happened. He'd no flag, and I gave him my flag. And that's my flag in all the videos of Ferg last year. It was great.
Okay.
Thanks very much for that, Jane.
Well, you wouldn't recognize Ferg unless you had the flag with him.
Yeah, you would. I've seen him without the flag. GAA clubs have been raising money for defibrillators for the past 20 years because sudden death is common. Stop with your bullshit, Irish edition. Sudden death is not common in any of these kids. You know what I mean? It's only the last few years these defibrillators have come out because of health and safety. They had to have them there for health and safety. Nobody ever used them. They used to change them every 4 or 5 years because they were never used and they were getting thrown out then. So don't give me that bollocks, okay? Like I knew of one footballer in my lifetime that died of that took a heart attack on the pitch, and he was a black guy that played for Tottenham Hotspur. I'm 56 years of age, and in my 50 years, I only knew one. But now it's every other week. You're seeing it happening with different players. You're seeing it happening with Sergio Aguero when he went to Barcelona. He had to give up football because he had a heart complaint. All my family took the jab. They thought I was nuts, Chris. I tried to tell them, but they didn't listen. All my family took it as well.
The majority of mine took it as well, yeah.
My dad still can't lie on his arm. And that's 4 years. You know what I mean? My dad still can't lie on his arm, and he's not great from it. And, it's crazy. Johnny boy. I got to J&J, was looking after old people, and I told them would kill them. Yes, I was conned and fell for it. And again, I'm not knocking anybody. I'm not knocking anybody for taking the vaccine. I really haven't. You took it for all the right reasons. I get that. But you were duped. I'm being honest with you. There was no COVID. It was all made up. You know what I mean? I'm being serious. Like, you know what I mean? I never even took one of them things and put them up my nose. I never tested for anything. I told you this story before. I went away for Patrick's Day. They had lifted the ban for Patrick's Day 22, I think it was, or 20, was it 21 or 22, whenever it was. But we could all go. I went away down the country for Patrick's Day, and out of 100 people I was with, everyone got COVID except me. And do you know what they said? Do you know what the lad said to me? Oh, you must have a savage immune system. No shit, Sherlock. I didn't take that shit. You did. You know what I mean?
Mm-mm.
My grandfather died in 1947 in Peamount, a young man. Yeah, that was TB. It was a TB, probably flame chef. My granny and granddad, my nanny and granddad were in there. I remember going to visit them in Peamount, and I only drove by it the other day, bringing the young one to play football. And it's still there. You know what I mean? Thalidomide, birth defects.
Yeah, 100%.
That should have been an eye opener. Yes, exactly.
That was horrendous. What happened there?
I know.
Absolutely horrendous.
Yeah, I know people. I just know someone that happened to. Jesus, look at that spot, man. Is it a spot or what the bleeding hell is it? Look at it. You swear I was feeding it.
Am I with a man or a woman?
I know, yeah. Abortions for 9 months also should be legalized by now, even in Europe. Abortion for 9 months. Rashid P. Diakara. Yeah. Right, Rashid. Yeah. Abortion should be outlawed in this bleeding country. Yeah. They refuse to talk about it now, Chris. Did it stop, Charlie? Did it stop you catching COVID flu? You're still muzzled up, still shoving shit up your nose, or is edition? Yeah. Okay, we'll move. I'm gonna move on here from.
Yeah, I said for you to put up the excess deaths.
Yeah, hang on there.
And then with Dr. Ryan Cole as well to play.
I have Ryan Cole there.
Yeah, and then there's actually another very good one as well in relation to autism. It's a sit-down interview. I think it's only 3 or 4 minutes long with Robert F. Kennedy. It's very good as well.
Hang on. Registered deaths. Is this here the fertility of mothers?
The screenshot.
Yeah, I'll put this up here now. Present. I'll share this one. Okay, this is based on real-time data from the funeral note site. In approximately 22,500 excess deaths have occurred in Ireland since January 2021. The COVID-19 vax rollout commenced in November 2020. Democide is the only word that comes close to encapsulating what has happened. Latest article, that's from Patrick E. Walsh. Now, Patrick is doing great work, I have to say. But there's the numbers, as you can see. According to data from the General Register, the GRO and RIP, Ireland has experienced a significant rise in excess deaths since 2021. 2021, a rise of 14.5 or 4,550 excess RIP death notices. 2022, it rose to 17.8 or 5,550. 2023, a rise of 18% or 5,660. 2024, a rise of 17% or 5,550 excess deaths. And 2025, so far, a rise of 10.6%. And we're only 5 months into the year. at 1,200 excess deaths. In total, there have been 22,500 since 21 to 25. But you only have to look at it there. You know what I mean? If you look at it there, 2025, people aren't getting vaccinated in 2025. People are worried. Okay?
Yeah.
People were still getting vaccinated in 24. A lot of people went out and got boosters and everything else. You know what I mean? My cousin in Crumlin died of the jab, 29 and pregnant. Jesus Christ. Yeah, Jesus,
Oh my
that's
God.
really terrible. I'm so sorry to hear that, Danny.
Jesus, Danny, that's awful.
The
I'm so
Indians
sorry.
can have the whiskey in the trade. Yeah. Chris Bourne, fuck off. Oh, sorry there. Rashish, abortions kill at the very cusp of life. I agree with you, Fionnuala. And one thing we are is a pro-life party, aren't we, Orla? Pro-life. That's us.
Yeah. I think that's a fake thing to come up there as well. Nobody come out with something so absolutely ludicrous and horrible to say.
Yeah, he's an Indian, you know what I mean? Trump invested in more anti-cancer vaccines and went on about helping people with lab reproduction products, etc. Yeah. Jade and Chris, heartburn, that's not the flu. Had it myself, it can do better things. If I am not in absolute pain, my newborn will die. This is a gobshite, that fella. I'm not even putting up his comments. He's gone. Cheerio. Boy,
It's
I'm not
probably
even
a fake
going
account as
to
well.
shit.
They're not going to be on the show, so it's a fake account.
Irish Edition is a pharmaceutical company's wet dream. Yeah.
Very true.
Amazing how it just went away. Exactly, lads. Amazing how it just went away. There were 8,566 deaths registered in Q3 of 2024, which equated to a death rate of 6.4 per 1,000 population compared to 6 per 1,000 in 2014. The total period fertility rate, TPFR, is derived from the age-specific fertility rates in the current year. It represents the projected number of people, the projected number of children a woman would have if she experienced current age-specific fertility rates while progressing from the ages 15 to 49. A value of 2.1 is generally considered to be a level at which the population will replace itself in the long run, ignoring immigration. In Q3 2024, the TPFR for Ireland was 1.5, which was below the replacement level in Q3 2014. The average age of mother giving birth was 33.2 years for Q3 2024, up slightly to 33.1 years in 2023. This figure was 32.3 years in the same quarter 10 years ago in Q3 in 2024. Yeah, there was 566 registered deaths in Ireland in Q3. 4,500 were males and 4,000 were females. There were 247 more deaths, 3% registered in Q3 when compared with the same period in 2023. That's the CSO figures that we've already done them. Okay. That's Del Big Tree.
That's the video. That's the video there. You can play that.
Okay, well, let me
That's
just
Robert F.
stop
Kennedy.
sharing that. I have that there already, Del Big Tree. Have I not?
Or is it? Yeah, maybe it's one or the other. Sorry, I can't remember which one it is, but it's on the autism anyway. So just play that video.
Yeah, hang on. Where is it? It's not the epidemiologist one. Okay, this is the autism one. Okay. Okay, let me just share this and we'll go with that. This is about the autism. Now we've about 20 minutes left, so we'll go with this.
We don't know what causes autism. Baloney. It's crystal clear. A lot of doctors have a problem with causation, association and causation, right?
Correlation, causation, association.
Right.
Yep.
So what takes you from a correlation or an association to a causation? You need to have a couple things. You need to have multiple studies showing the same thing. You showed hundreds of how toxins can do it.
Yep.
We have many now. I've listed many of them in my book, Vaxxed, Unvaxxed. To do a proper study to get to that point, you've got to compare vaccinated to unvaccinated. It's just, you got to do it. And there are data sets out there that can be run and it's there.
Yeah.
Okay. So you have multiple studies. We have those. Then you have to have a mechanism. It has to be reasonable explanation that, well, it makes sense. We now understand what's happening. Aluminum in particular, which was one of the highest toxins we talked about, and mercury, those two. Aluminum is in most of the vaccines. Mercury is still in the multi-dose flu shot, and in trace amounts in other vaccines. What these are doing is they're causing immune activation, which causes brain inflammation, causes leaky gut, leaky brain, and now all toxins are magnified. It's causing direct toxicity, and there's all sorts of mechanisms with inflammatory markers that we now have proven in studies that are showing we're creating massive brain inflammation. Brain on fire might look like autism.
Right.
And it's proven that it does.
Yeah.
So we have the mechanisms. The elephant in the room is right in front of us.
Yeah.
So there's a pretty simple solution. You figured it out way before I did. Stop vaccinating and see what happens. There's this fear. I know you asked me this many years ago when I was on your show. What would happen? Tell the pediatricians if we stop vaccinating today, what would happen?
Yeah.
You know what? A lot of healthier kids. You would see these atrocious numbers, not just of autism, but chronic health conditions drop to almost zero, not zero, because our world is so toxic today that even if we got rid of the vaccines, there's going to be a few cases of some of these conditions. We've got to get rid of the red dyes and all the food dyes. That's happening.
Yeah.
We got to get rid of the pesticides, that whole list. If we get that going, and then you stop vaccinating and you eat organic and you don't take Tylenol, which magnifies all toxins, acetaminophen, you could make like 3 or 4 little moves for your family, and you're going to be almost guaranteed healthy children. I mean, here's the
Yeah, let's make a big, massive increase.
I
They're
see
all going
Pather's
on
in
there.
from the pub. Hi, Pather.
I see Patter's in the pub. Yeah, my cousin's son died. My cousin's son
That
died.
was very good, actually, on the autism, because again, you know, you think about the amount of heavy metals that's in those shots. I mean, and the effect that that's having on a child's brain. So is it any wonder, you know?
Yeah, Dermot. Oh, how are you, Dermot? Is there, mate, Dermot?
Hey, Dermot, how are you?
I have to drop over for a point with you, mate. I need to have a chat with you as well. Seeing as though we'll be talking to each other in any way, so now it'll be official. We can talk to each other. So yeah, great show tonight, and fair play for highlighting the issues around the jab that puts us all at risk. Yes, it's true. Yeah. It's true. Yeah. I think I just got a message in
can
there.
you play the Ryan Cole one? He's very good.
Ferg just text in. Tell Jaden thanks very much for doing that. I really appreciate it. Good night and God bless you all. Erden go bra. Yeah.
Tell Paul, I'll send you. Oh, you've got it. Will you send it on to Ferg? Tell him I made sure that he had the flag.
He has it now. He was sent. Jaden sent it to him. And a big shout out to Teresa, Ferg's mother-in-law, if she's watching tonight. How are you, Teresa? Thanks for watching.
And then we have to say hello to Emer, Martin's mother, as well, because she's generally always watching as well.
Yeah, well, you know, Ferg does always ask me to shout out for Teresa.
I know, it's nice.
Teresa is great, you know. I predicted the Lady of Era did a video on them a couple of weeks ago. That's a block of apartments. Okay, we'll finish up on these vaccines now in a minute. I just want to go.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what I want to do. I want to play Dr. Ryan Cole. He's talking about the vaccines again. So let's play him.
What, in your opinion, was the greatest crime during COVID?
The truth died. We were lied to by governments. The powers that be, it was a big money game for them, and they made up a false emergency. SARS-CoV-2 was never an emergency for 99.9% of the population. So they used it as an opportunity to test out their, quote, new technology that they've been tinkering with and always failing with. And they rolled it out onto humanity. Like I said from the stage here, they would make Mengele blush in terms of human experimentation. This was a horrendous breach of human rights around the world. Destroyed lives, destroyed businesses, put more people into poverty. This entire couple of years has been, history will look back, and hopefully these people will be shown to be shameful like they were.
And what's your message to the people of the world and the ordinary citizen? What can we do to hold these people accountable, to hold our media accountable? Which way should we pursue?
Well, number one, support independent media. Number two, silence is compliance. If you stay quiet wherever you are in the world, you're complying. Raise your voice against tyranny. and we need to band together. Think of this: if in a business of 100 people, 20 people stood up to the owner, or 30 people stood up and said, "No, I'm not getting that experimental shot," the business would have failed, and the business owner would have backed down. When America left Britain 250 plus years ago, it took 3% of colonists to start a revolution. When we won the war against the motherland, only 30% of Americans were red-blooded new Americans. In the colony, 70% were still loyal to the crown. It doesn't take a lot of us to win, but it takes some of us. And if people are complacent, too comfortable, and safe, and hypnotized by their screens, then you're not living life.
Yeah. The greatest thing, the worst thing that happened, truth died. You weren't allowed to tell the truth. Like that, I think, he's a pediatrician,
He's a
isn't he?
pathologist.
He's a what?
Pathologist.
A pathologist, yeah. Okay, I thought he was a pediatrician.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, yeah.
But,
I'm pretty sure he's a pathologist. So he
Yeah.
looks at all the cells and all that sort of stuff. He's brilliant. And you know what's gas, right? I must actually get it so we can play it on the show, because by God, will it bring back memories. If you were listening in the background, you could hear a song called "I Will Not Comply." And oh my God, it was
Yeah.
just, you know what? Like, you know the way we'll say for us that were deemed as the anti-vaxxers and this, that, and the other. You know, there was times you were just feeling like, you know, you were so isolated and you were on your own and this, that, and the other. And then you used to watch that show.
I'm proud of it.
That song.
I'm proud of it.
It was absolutely brilliant. It really just showed, you know, you're not on your own. You know, people are fighting back, and it's brilliant. I must actually try and get it and see can we play it on the show. You know.
Yeah. We've hit 1,000 there, people. Fair play to you. Thanks very
Now,
much.
I don't know if I put it up actually, because I see somebody put a comment there. Now, did I put it up about the man in the wheelchair not being able to get disability? Because that should be highlighted as well.
Nick Bones Cox, consultant urologist, Somerset.
It'd be a screenshot I would have sent. It's off the news article. Just trying to remember to send it on. I'm doing too much media. My brain is fried.
A video, was it?
No, it was a screenshot. I'm just trying to think that I put it up.
No,
Send it
I
over.
have the Irish Freedom Party screenshot. All right, but yeah. Listen, I have one more there I want to play. This is.
Well, I just want to say this. I just want to say this very quickly. It needs to be highlighted. This man ended up being paralysed, and it was in the Independent, and it was absolutely horrendous. And he was 2.5 years in a rehab hospital, and he's home now and all that, but he is not entitled to disability allowance. And an article came out from Gript saying that 31% of people receiving social welfare are non-nationals. And an Irish man who is permanently disabled is not entitled to social welfare. People need to start waking up in this country as to what is going on. That is horrendous.
It is horrendous. Somebody put up a thing there as well that earlier on that a man died in Kilkenny as well. He was murdered in London. An 87-year-old man was murdered from Kilkenny, was murdered in London on Tuesday. So I don't know.
Oh, wait a minute. I wonder if that's the story I did as well. I didn't know he's from Kilkenny now. Yeah, there was an Irish man, and he ended up getting mugged. And he died. And he was mugged by a foreign man. And he died. It just said he was Irish. Now, I didn't know where he was from. But again, like that, I think he was 87 or something, or 89 or something like that. And by all means, he was a lovely, lovely man. I mean, that's just horrendous. I was just saying, like, there's no empathy, there's no compassion, nobody gives a crap anymore. Like, it's just like that man died for what? Like, what was he going to have? Like, very little on him.
His pension,
You know,
the poor man.
few pounds,
Probably collected
maybe at the most his pension, and he died over that. Like, I don't know what's walking among us. I really don't.
Yeah, I know. These people just don't care, you know what I mean? Whereas now, don't get me wrong, I know we have our own criminals, I know England has its own criminals, but you're when you're importing these scum, and that's all they are, is scum. Now, I'm not talking about the people that come in and work and do what they have to do and you know, do what, you know, abide by our laws. This large are trying to do your own laws and bringing in Sharia law and this, that, and the other. It's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. But I'm going to finish on this one about the vaccines. It's all connected. This is the graphene oxide in this. This man is telling you exactly what's in them. So we'll come back.
Et je termine là-dessus. C'est le poster que vous avez derrière moi. Mars 2021. Un grand nombre de personnes ont réalisé que les individus vaccinés devenaient quasiment tous électromagnétiques à minima au point d'injection. Mai 2021. En Espagne, le docteur Pablo Compra découvrait par le biais de son microscope électronique à transmission la présence de milliards de nanoparticules d'oxyde de graphène dans les flacons Comirnaty de Pfizer. En Italie, les docteurs Gatti et Montanari découvraient les mêmes composants inorganiques avec leur microscope électronique à balayage environnemental. Ils ont également découvert plusieurs dizaines d'autres composants qui ne figuraient pas dans la liste des composants officiels déclarés par les sociétés pharmaceutiques. En Argentine, Lorena Di Blasi et Marcela Sangorine ont fait les mêmes découvertes, mais en pire s'agissant des métaux lourds et de composants non déclarés. 55 composants non déclarés, dont certains sont mortels. En Allemagne, en Angleterre, en Corée ou encore en Australie, même recherche, même résultat, même constat. Rappelez-vous qu'en août 2021, au Japon, le ministère de la Santé a fait retirer tous les lots des vaccins de la société Moderna en raison d'une découverte de contamination. Mais de quelle contamination parle-t-on ? Aujourd'hui, tous ces chercheurs sont formels. Il ne s'agit pas d'une contamination, mais d'un véritable crime contre l'humanité. Un crime machiavélique, organisé et planifié depuis longtemps. Ce que vous voyez sur ce poster, ce sont les meilleures images que nous ayons actuellement en notre possession. Ces photos représentent les nanoparticules disposées en nanoréseaux auto-assemblés. Ils sont présents dans tous les vaccins anti-Covid-19, peu importe la société pharmaceutique qui les produit. Sinopharm, Sinovac.
Wow. Jesus Christ. Could you read that as it was going along? I was reading as it was going along. Nanoparticles, heavy metals. Wow. Oh my God.
Well, sure, graphene oxide is highly magnetic. I mean, I don't know if anyone's ever seen it. It is the freakiest looking thing. It nearly looks alien. It looks like a black gel, but like it can pull apart. It can go into like blobs and it can move. And it is the freakiest looking thing ever. And seemingly that's supposed to be in the shots as well. And it causes blood clots. That's what it causes. I remember Dr. Jane Ruby used to speak about it a lot. She's over in America.
I used to watch her all the time. Yeah, that's where.
Yeah.
You see, I'm gonna read this. I'm not gonna do it now, but somebody wrote a blog called "The Man Living with the Man in the Tinfoil Hat." Okay. Now, the man in the tinfoil hat was obviously me, but everything that's in it now has come true, you know, the sort of way. So maybe I wasn't as mad as everyone thought I was, you know, the sort of way. But do you know what I'm actually going to do, Orla? I'm going to ask you to narrate it for me, and we'll do a little video on it, just the man in the tinfoil hat, because it's a woman who wrote it, so I'd rather it was read out by a woman, you know,
okay.
And we'll do a little video on it for next week. And it's very good now, I have to say. It's very good, well put together and the whole lot, but all bullshit, like, you know what I mean? All bullshit. But yeah, I think we're finished with this. I have an epidemiologist there that I want to talk about now. We'll just go with him and then we'll come back.
5 times boosted individuals, they find it for the first time. We think this is because actually the mRNA gets into the heart and your heart starts to produce spike protein. And these, you see these scarring spots on there, that's probably where the spike protein was produced. The body attacked it, inflamed it, and it got scarred. It scarred up, and that's what happens when it gets inflamed. And so it's an autoimmune response. And then they're left with this, and they get electrical conduction abnormalities in the heart, and that leads to these lethal arrhythmias, this ventricular tachycardia, and eventually sudden death. And so this is just proof in the cake that, you know, look in people's hearts. This is what it does. It's dangerous, it's cardiotoxic, and they've got to get off the market.
McCullough Foundation. Yeah, but you look at the damage that's caused from myocarditis and pericarditis. Like that is permanent damage to the heart muscle, should I say. And you don't, like, your heart doesn't recover. It's not like the liver. So if your heart is damaged, it's damaged for life. And then the more shots you take, the more damage is going to be done. So like, it's absolutely horrendous.
You're not mental, you're right and angry, like me, pal. Yeah.
He is.
All in order. Before we go, I want to play this. Okay, this is what someone sent in to me earlier, and I've only just found it here to play. But this is a voice message that was sent about this child that this happened to. So let's play.
Fucked a man off the phone there. Wondering why the police was down in the pub in Mullaban last night. So we girl missing from Drogheda, Slack of Wicks, came running into the pub crying and shouting for help. And Catherine Quinn was working, and it turns out the wee girl was from Drogheda and reported missing. She's kidnapped by them foreigners up the back of Bernard O'Hanlon's pub. And the wee girl was raped and battered. And she don't know how she escaped, but got down, and your woman locked the pub and locked the girl in it and rung the police. And the foreigners down trying to get into the pub to get at the girl. It's fucking worse this place is getting with them share of bastards, boy.
Oh my God!
I heard something about that on X, but I didn't. Jesus, that's horrendous. Dear God, and him trying to get back in at her.
The child missing for weeks. Like, Jesus Christ, man! Could you imagine your child? It beggars belief. Like, I'm being honest, it beggars belief. Like, if that was, listen. I think anyone who knows me would know if that was my child, what I would do. I would not have that. They would not be in that place ever again. I'm just going to give a shout out here. I was actually going to do it anyway because Tom already put it into the group earlier on. Paul, could you please give a shout out for the peaceful gathering at ABB House in Tala on Saturday at 2 p.m. and the following Tuesday at 6 p.m. We will do it again on the show on Sunday night. Don't you worry. I'm gonna go live Friday night anyway because we want to do the 2 shows this week. So for anyone who's listening, we'll be live Friday night. We're not gonna go tomorrow night. I'm back training the girls. Seeing as though my knife charge has been dropped, I'm back training the kids. So yeah, it's brilliant to get back training the kids. So I've missed it for the last year. It's really, and you can probably see my physique is not as great as what it used to be last year. So yeah. Shout out, peaceful gathering, ABB House.
I think I have to put up with this. Actually, I might go with Martin's idea of Naked Thursdays. That I'd be there.
Yeah.
You and him. Hey,
that's
you
on
and him.
Saturday at 2 p.m.
Hey, Paul, the truth is out about you. Where's Eddie?
Yeah. Fair play to Squidgy on that one.
That's
on
too
Saturday
funny.
at 2 p.m. If everyone could go up there. If everyone could go up to the ABB House and give those people a dig out.
What's it for?
There's an iPass centre going in there. There's an iPass centre going in there, 1,500 men or something. Or it's a mad amount of men going in there. Like, Tala is overrun with iPass centre. So people, please get out and give the people at Tala a dig out. If I can make it out Saturday, I will. You know what I mean? But Tom will be there. Tom has been there the last couple of nights. Fair play to Tom. He's talking to people and he's networking. And as you can see in the top right-hand corner of the screen, Orla first, that's who I am. That's who I'm with. And yeah, please, people, if you can get out there, please help the people. People at Tala. Hospitals are now warning of the prevalence of blood clots on TV at hospitals on the loop and saying it's normal. Yes.
Of course.
They're also talking about it. HIV is everywhere now. If you look on the buses now, they have things about HIV. A friend of mine's child said it. What's HIV, Dad? You know what I mean? And look, how do you explain this to a kid? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, righteous anger. Yeah, it is righteous anger. Mr. Gold. If you go out in the sun tomorrow, Paul, you will have the skin like my old leather jacket. Yeah, I don't wear any sun creams or I never have worn sun creams.
He is 164, remember?
Yeah. that mean any Muslims that took it have to get pig's heart transplant? Awkward. Yeah.
Oh my God, yeah.
But God, her life changed forever. Yeah. Oh my God. It's like grooming gangs in Rochdale. Yes.
Yeah,
Listen, the
yeah.
in a brothel that was gone
Thanks,
missing for
Sarah.
a year. Tusla. Tusla are a cartel that are giving out kids to these bastards. You know what I mean? And they need to be taken down as well. You know, it's disgraceful.
Yeah,
I've
I've
seen
spoken
that
out
one
a few
from
times with the carry on of Tusla.
Yeah, it's disgraceful. And I follow that girl in from I think she's from Carlow. Freedom is her name. What's her name? I was talking to her at the protest. What's her name again? Blondie girl. Ah, she's a nice girl, lovely girl. What's her name? Angela Ray. That's who it is. She's a lovely girl. She's doing great work as well, exposing them as well.
Thanks, Paul.
But Christmas, that poor girl and family. Jesus, yeah, I know. HIV, another imaginary virus. Read my comment, Fitzy. My 2 big regrets, no order. Hold on, where is it, Padder? I better look for it again. We'll go back up through them. Padder. Oh, I can't see them, Padder. I'm going way back here. Padder, there's bleeding millions of comments here, me.
Can you put it up again, Padder? Just type it in again.
I'm sure I'm going way back here. I'm miles back. Oh, Jesus, Padder. When did you send them in? Yesterday? Padder, I can't see them. I'm going way back here. Read my comment, Fitzy. Yeah, it's a bit up, mate. It's bleeding miles up, Padder. Miles up. I'm at the going nearly to the top. I can't find it. Sunscreen is cancerous. Yeah, it is cancerous. We know that.
Yes, I went and I actually ordered, do you know, the non-toxic sun cream? So I did, from an Irish brand.
Yeah.
See, normal sunscreen has a huge amount of chemicals. Unbelievable amount of chemicals. That half of it's, again, don't even know what's in them.
Yeah, it's true. Jeez, I'm not seeing it, Padder. I'm at the going up. All I can see is how you're Orla and Fitzy.
Can you put it back in again?
Yeah. I'm not seeing it. I've got no problem putting up anything, Padder, for you. You're one of our own, man.
Oh, Padder knows we love him.
The Padder I know, Big Padder. Is that Big Padder with the moustache that I've met at loads of protests? Is that Padder? Because he's a bit mad as well. He's a lovely fella. Padder Doyle. Ah, Jesus. Reading me bollocks after 15 points.
Oh, Lord.
He's mad, he is. I found that one, so I hope. Hang on, what have we got here? There's a fly flying around here. He's doing me bleeding the head in, man. I swear to God.
Oh, do you know what does my head? You know, the stupid blue bottles. Oh my God, they would just drive you mad.
It's one of them. Padder, I can't find it. It's not there, mate. I didn't see it at all now, I'm being honest.
Padder, you're seeing double after 15 pints.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it, Padder. Honestly, I might have been looking for it. Yup. Okay, just got a message there. Thanks a million. Yeah, no problem, Hunt. You take care. Paul, no one outside is saving us, but fact is, on World News means our shower are being exposed for what they are doing. See the letter Orban gave Eminem, Micheál Martin. Things like that have to help. Yeah. Hi guys, if organising protests, there's one in Limerick on the 14th of June at 1 p.m. Check Limerick says no for details. I actually knew about that. I was going to talk about it before we went because it was sent on to me again. It's up again. Padder, there's nothing up. I'm not finding it, Padder. I'm not finding that. But yeah, there's a protest in Limerick, as Jackie said, in Limerick on the 14th of June at 1 p.m. Check Limerick says no for details. And that will be, I think, Shin and Adina are there as well that day as well with Limerick says no. So yeah, thanks very much. And I hope everyone goes out to Limerick. Please get the people in Limerick out to please. People in Limerick need to be getting out. We can't keep going down. Me and Orla, we were in Knock a few months ago, and there was 5 people from Knock. There was 300 of us and 5 people from Knock. if the people of the area aren't going to come out themselves, the media are going to crucify us saying, oh, the far right have travelled from all around the country to come to Limerick. So the people of Limerick need to get out. Please, the people of Limerick. I'll be there. Anthony will be there. I don't know who else will be there, but I know I'll be there and Anthony will be there and Shannon Adina and Orla Force. So anyone that can get there, please get down there to Limerick on the 14th. Have to do Philip Dwyer interview next show. Shocking. Philip's a good guy. My 2 regrets is no bleeding Orga and forced jabbing my first wife in no bleeding order.
Oh, no particular order, no bleeding order. My first wife.
Did you get married again, Padda? Are you bleeding mental, man? Jesus Christ. The 5th wife is the easiest.
Hey, we're not that bad. Well, some of us.
Leave Paul alone. He's a bull of a man. I would stand with him all day long. Thanks very much, Danny. Fair play to you. There's a lot of people who will stand with me all day long, and I will stand with a lot of people all day long as well. I'm loyal. Marry me bollocks. Marry me bollocks. Yeah. Paul McKeown, were you in Bundoran on Saturday past? I wasn't, Siobhan. I couldn't get down. I was with the kids. I see the kids the weekend, so yeah, I'm back and forward with football with them and everything else.
Is it the protest that was up in Donegal?
Yeah, in Bundoran, yeah.
Sarah was there and Tom was there. Paul, why am I on the full screen?
Because I'm changing my background. Just give me a second there, Orla. You just fill in there, Orla.
Oh my God. Off taking phone calls. Anyone got Ross Lahive's number? He was very professional when he was on the other day. Well, we're at the end of the show when Paul's finished yapping on the phone. And Pather, he'll do his lion speech for you. So he will. And if anybody has any stories they want us to highlight, will you just message them in or put them in through the number that Paul puts up as well? Because there could be things going on around the country that we don't know about. So it'll be actually really handy if people, give us the heads up over stuff. Are you back, Paul?
Yeah, I'm back on it. Orla is the true line of truth.
Paddy, thank you.
Orla is the pussy of truth, the cat of truth. Orla is. Yeah.
What did you just say?
Yup, Orla. Brilliant show. Good night, everyone, and God bless. Good night, everyone. Great show.
Good night.
Fair play to everyone. That's it, Orla. I'm going to drop you down, and we're finished up for tonight. And I will talk to you in a few minutes. Well, everyone, we've reached the end of the show again. And thank you very much for everyone who has contributed tonight, who has sent in everything and the whole lot. Thanks for the catch up. Yeah, love you guys. Love you guys. I so enjoy our show. Listen, we enjoy doing it. Yeah, let her loose. Hear her roar. You're right, fella. As I say every night, the truth is like a lion. You don't have to defend it. You just let it loose and it will defend itself. Good night and God bless everyone. Thank you for watching.